We're on. Oh, what's going on? Go away, newsreader. Okay, we're good. Hello, everyone. I seem to be really loud. Please tell me if I'm much louder than the others when they start in a minute. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It's season 2, episode 8. Guess who's back? Back again. We are back. Tell your friends. I think that's how it goes. That was. I did some rap there in honour of Fiddy because whenever Fiddler's here, I always think about rap because of being Fiddy. Anyway, welcome everyone to tonight's show. I'm going to call it a show. That's it's very sort of grandiose, I think. But we're a show tonight.
Only in regards to the production value.
Wow, maybe like a cable show on American deep channels somewhere where you have to scroll round to the top and come back again. Yes, we are the Boys in the Baltic Star. If you're a regular, hello, we love our regulars. Of course, we love you guys. Our crew, Spez is here, Socks is here. Is Lemon lurking around? Lovely. Anyone else that's here that comes often? Hiya. If it's your first time, hiya. I hope you like what you see. If you don't, I'm sorry, but that's okay. I hope that you're able to find something you do enjoy with your free time. No hard feelings, etc. We love the fact that people even come for just a few minutes. We really appreciate that. We love our chatters, and we're always very happy for you guys to chat. Like, legitimately, get involved. We break the fourth wall. You can make fun of us. You can chat between yourselves, whatever you want. Ewan and I, when we're not role-playing so much, if one person's more taking the lead, the other person will tend to chat a bit more in chat as well, and get involved and answer questions and just hang out. If you just want to lurk, we love the lurkers. We always love the lurkers. Thank you so much for putting us on while you're doing something else. We do appreciate that. That little red sun is Imperial credits, and you can spend those on things. There's a lot of things. It's getting a bit ridiculous. If you need any help with what they are, please let us know, and we'll answer in text. Ewan has given a good example. Our drink to that is worth 1 credit, and it's purposely 1 credit. If you want to agree with something and raise a glass, I'll drink to that will suffice. It's 1 and it's open to everyone. But everything else is there. Just ask if you need to know. A beard for Ben is very important. That's a good example. Ben's not on the side today, so it's become a beard for Ewan. Hang on, let's move it there. There we are. Now, this is in honour of the fact that at his best, Ben has a beard. For some reason, he shaves it every 6 weeks or so and goes back to the baby skin. So at those times, it is Brian Blessed. So we feel it makes him feel more. I don't know. It just makes me feel more comfortable knowing that he's there. But yeah, so that's an option as well. We're on Twitter at Boys Baltic. We're on Instagram, Boys in the Baltic Star. Ewan's busy on Twitter as well. Start shouting that out. Ewan, what's your Twitter?
Oh, thanks. It's Ewan Martin 16. That's my Twitter.
Ewan Martin 16 because that's how old his headphones make him look.
I'm the only person with numbers after my name who's not a bot. Makes it easy to remember.
That is easy to remember, yeah.
Most bots have like 6. I think it's 6 numbers after them. You've got 16. Yeah. That's exactly what a bot would say, Spurs, isn't it?
It's all right. I believe you. Thousands would.
Yeah. What is it? You're at a stage show. You're watching a stage show, and people are eating. There's a banquet on. And people are eating raw oysters, and then they bring out the main of stuffed dog stuffed with rice, or boiled dog stuffed with rice. Is that part of the test from Blade Runner? You're walking through the desert. There's a turtle on its back.
Oh yeah. But it's all very well making the questions, but you're not exactly saying what you would do here.
No, exactly. I wouldn't.
Exactly what a bot would say. Anyway, speaking of people in the chat, my name is Luke. Hello, I'm in the bottom left. I'm in a red t-shirt. It's quite hot, and actually I've got a hole in an armpit, so I'm considering it's a band t-shirt. I think the sleeves are coming off this week. I think they're getting cut off. I think this time next week it's going to be another Guns shirt. I'm quite excited. But hello. 2 across from me is my... I play Kara and Soraya. Kara's an artist, and she's a chatter, and she's a trader, and she's made of glass, but she's cool. Soraya is like a female Han Solo, but less grumpy and more fun-loving. And she has a furry sidekick as well, but we'll get into that in a second. Two across from me is Ewan, my comrade, my friend, my buddy. How are you, Ewan? How is your skanky eye?
Yeah, all right. Thanks. I'm okay, apart from the infected eye. I'm not winking at you constantly. It's it's just the way it is nowadays. At least until the medication kicks in.
Oh dear. Well,
But
and then he's high as a kite.
Yeah, exactly. I play Stefan and Agnar. Stefan, space rogue, streetwise, with a hobby for man-portable weapons. He hasn't got to use them yet, but he's picked up a small amount of skill, so he's going to be testing the water hopefully soon, at some point.
Yes.
We shall see. And Agnar, former general, medic, military tactician, and those are my characters.
Ah, lovely. I suppose it's tradition. I think Ben needs to duck today. It's a Ben ducking day, Ewan.
It is.
Lovely. We're loving the fist bump. Speaking of the man in the middle, was it Michael Jackson that sang "The Man in the Middle"?
I think that was a different song.
I think it was Man in the Mirror, wasn't it?
Oh, Man in the Mirror. Oh, that's Ewan's "The Man in the Mirror."
That is true.
The man in the middle, not in the mirror. He's the man that actually, not being in the mirror, he spends 24 hours a day in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. He's the smartest man in any room he goes into. And actually, in any street he walks down, I discovered this week. I was chatting around town. There's a lot that people say about Ben.
It's true.
He gives off an aura. He gives off an aura as he walks. People like drop back against walls and things. They can't believe it. It is our GM, otherwise known as a referee in Traveller. It is the man with the sexiest voice in town. If anyone was ever going to do Matt Berry's audiobook, it would be Ben. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm well, thank you.
Fantastic. What have you been up to? Anything magical apart from sending people knocking backwards in the street at your aura?
I've been working hard, of course, but I've been working on a couple of secret things for the channel as well. So we'll see how they turn out soon.
Oh, I'm excited and terrified. Oh, you sent me a request. Sorry, I never responded to your request. Yes, I'll do that. What, you didn't need
it's all right, no
tonight.
panic. There's a couple of things that we're not going to talk about on stream.
Okay, good. Whew. Okay, let's rest. That's good. What else was I going to say before we start? Oh, yes. If it's your first time, these are the graphics. I hope they're not too overwhelming. At the top will be the characters scrolling. So if you miss who the characters are and you're trying to catch up with what's going on, you'll see our four main characters scroll across the top, which will give you a bit of information about them so you sort of get a vibe of what's going on. I think that's everything we need to say. Let's get started. Ben, what's going on?
Well, deep in the barren wastes of Dilub Rou, our travellers have made their way to Bycrest, a mining property in the small community of Swisher. The owners of Bycrest, Rocco and Penna Nortessery, are also the most prominent members of the WEF Free Company, a collective of independent miners in and around Swisher. Garo Kavarian, still recovering from his injuries received when a wayward test of some technology launched by Pan System Power hit his home and workshop, is travelling with them. He seems comfortable around the Nortesseries, and they seem happy to see him on the mend. At Bycrest, our heroes have settled in for the night, taking advantage of the offered hospitality, and while Garo may be guileless in his arrival at the mine, the travellers have ulterior motives. On the subject of Garo, when examining his workshop, he found a piece of interesting debris left over from the accident, and the details of this are still unclear. The party have made a promise to negotiate with Pan System Power on behalf of a local second-hand dealer in Azureport, Lane Jarek, and that's still to be. And so far, they have rid Morse's Pit, the property purchased by their friend Telon Rack, of its bandit infection, bringing hope to the Priory of Panunzio that it might begin to receive a steady stream of visitors once more. But as evening fell over Bycrest, some of the party went exploring secretively to investigate the property. They have discovered that one of the main buildings has had a new door fitted recently, and poking about in the canyon behind the buildings, found a shed with the old door abandoned inside. Behind, they encountered their first look at an animal they've been warned to fear, the sand crate, but they managed to avoid any serious consequences from the encounter. They crept back to their beds for the night, carefully checking there was no sign of one of the venomous creatures on their person. And that is where we resume the story.
As they say, is that. Cool.
Did we do the check last week?
The sand crate
I
check.
can't remember. Yeah.
Yes, as you entered the building, you immediately, in fact, it was the very last thing you did.
Wonderful. I just wanted to make sure that we had it both on stream for last week and this week. So if Ben turns around and says, well, actually, one crept in with you, it's not our fault. We did everything we could.
We can all say, that's not canon. Yeah, I like it.
Everything's canon.
Even the things. So have they gone to bed, Ben, or are they still in the last?
You've just
moments?
arrived back, and you can just curl up and spend a night, and we can resume in the morning. Or if there's something else you want to do before you tuck yourselves in, that's fine too.
There's one thing Soraya would like to do just before she tucks herself in, just before she shakes out her. It's like being in Australia. Just before she shakes out her sleeping bag and her boots, and double checks everything. She'd like to show a photo, because we took photos, didn't we, of the front and the back of the door for damage. Without sort of giving away what it is too much. First of all, can we show it to Agnar, being a military man, to see if there's signs of explosives and blast and stuff. Mm-hmm. Agnar, is this what can you make of this? We can't make what it's damaged, but I don't know what it is.
Looks like a door.
I know that. Stop trying to be. I know you're grumpy and you're trying to get to sleep, but can't have another look.
And does he recognise? I suppose the either explosives or anything from his xenology.
Can you make an explosives check, demolitions check for Agnar?
Yes.
With intellect, please.
Oh, that's good. That's an 11 plus 2. It's a 13.
Okay. It appears to your experienced eye that though there is damage on both sides of the door, it seems likely that the damage on the inside is a consequence of the damage on the outside. Like something potentially explosive or at least very heavy and hard hit the outside hard and it's distorted the inside as well.
Okay. Yeah, Soraya. The outside was damaged from what I can tell, and it's just gone through. You know, like when you make a. No, that's not right at all. So something hit the outside.
Okay.
And it's caused damage to the structure of the door. It's gone inside.
Okay. So it's not something trying to get out. It's something exploding into it or trying to charge in. Okay, that's good to know. Cheers, man. Thanks.
That's right.
You should have seen it, man. We saw one of those sand crates. Oh, it was
big.
Oh man, size of your leg easily, and that's just the thickness of it. It reared up at Stefan. He had to fight it off, and then he tore it in half with his bare hands. I'll tell you what, I could have died if he'd not done that.
Agnar looks over at Stefan and then looks back at Soraya. Shakes his head. You had me until bare hands.
Yeah, that's true. She looks at Stefan as well. Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that's not very believable, is it? Let's face it. Although I've heard he could have you in an arm wrestle, Agnar.
Listen, true strength isn't always measured by one's arms.
It's measured by one's arms,
Certainly,
is it?
certainly not in Varga communities.
Oh, tell me more. What do you do? Tail wrestling? Feels like an unfair advantage when you take on the humans.
Floofiness contests is the way to go.
Yeah, floofy contests.
Well, that would be part of the social aspect. Would be the floofiness contest. Yes, the power of wits, I suppose.
The power of wits. That to and fro. Yeah. Oh, I'm tired, man. I'm gonna go to bed. Looks like we're heading down to the mine tomorrow, and I want to make sure I've got my wits about me.
Okay.
I've been waiting up all night though. Well, not all night, but I've been waiting for you guys. Look at all these games and all this alcohol we've got. I've been sat here patiently, expecting some kind of competition. But I suppose we could.
Cara sits up. She sort of puts down her device. And she said, "Well, why didn't you say so? I've been eyeing up the games as well. But I thought you were just. I thought you were just like more interested in." And she sort of nods towards Rack, who's not paying attention at that moment, so can't see. I thought you were like more interested in that. Hanging out.
The stories were incredible. I mean, you heard them obviously, but you can do that as well as play something. I thought you were asleep.
No,
you've been so quiet.
Oh, no, it's rare. It's rare for me. I'll give you that. I was catching up on a lot of social media. It must be said. Just seeing my likes, seeing my follows, seeing how I'm spreading around like a disease around the system. So my name's up there, man. My name's up there. I had 32 likes today. 32. I'm practically a celebrity locally right now.
I mean, that's more than the population of this town that we're in.
Exactly. Apparently, you can keep liking over and over again.
It's quite impressive.
Garrow liked the post 10 times. I didn't even know he could do that. But I guess he's tinkered with his device. What do you want to play, Aggers? What do you want to play?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've seen any of these games before. Have I, Ben?
No, they're local. I mean, you're familiar with the sort of the family of games they're in. The specifics may vary from world to world, but you know what they are. They're card games, dice games.
What? I don't mind. What do you fancy? And he'll shout over to Rat. Rat, do you fancy a game or something?
Rack looks up slightly bleary through the bottom of his glass. Yes. Yay.
That's what I thought.
Splendid.
What do you recommend out of these? I mean, you should be familiar. You live here now. The local games.
I've been here only as long as you have. Remember?
That's true. Well, maybe we can get you familiar with one of them. I guess at least.
Cara sort of looks over and she looks over at a box. If no one else has gone over to it, and she says, now this one I do recognise. And she pulls it out. And she says, have any of you ever looked at those old Terran games? You know, like the old like poker style games? Poker games.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, there's one which is kind of like that, but with dice. Okay. And each person takes 4 dice. I think there should be enough in the box. She sort of shakes the box and hears a rattle. I don't know if it's got all of them, but I don't know. How many of us are playing? Agnar, you're playing. I'm playing. Rack, you? You in?
Rack's playing.
Cool. Right, what I've got. So I think. Good. That's enough dice. They make it enough for 6 players, but it's not got all the dice, but it's got at least 12. So if we take 4 each. Now, what you've got is you've got to make your best poker hand of 3 using dice.
Okay.
So, and the order goes, if they're all different, it's highest number. So the worst thing you can get is the highest number. So if you've got a 1, 2, 4, and 6, 6 is your best. It's a high number. The next thing is if you can get 1 pair. So the 3 dice you can put forward, 1 pair. So 2 1s and a 4 is a pair of 1s. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Then the next thing you can do, the next best thing is a run, yeah, a run of 3. So 1 2 3 or 2 3 4.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's of course it's the highest one wins. So a 4 5 6 beats a 1 2 3. And then the best thing you can do is 3 of a kind. Is the best. Does that make sense?
4 of a kind?
Well, you can only use your best 3. You can only use a hand of 3. Only use a hand of 3.
Fair enough.
So what you do is you roll all 4. You roll all 4, and you look at them, and then you can re-roll up to 2.
Okay.
And then after that, the best hand wins. There's gambling and betting involved, but we haven't got, that's a whole evening's worth of gaming. We just want a little short game, right? Just before bed, just to whet the appetite,
Sure.
What we'll do is we'll do the first. Should we say the first to win 3 hands?
Works for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. I like it. So you roll all 4. Have a look what you got. You can re-roll 2, and then we'll see who's got the best hand out of that.
All right.
How about we make it somewhat interesting and the loser can raise the glasses in the toast for us all. Agnar will say.
How about we make it even more interesting? So when someone wins, the loser raises the glass. So when someone hits 3 wins, whoever's got the least raises the glass. But every time someone wins a hand, the other 2 people pay them 500 credits each.
Okay.
A hand.
Yeah.
So 1,000 credits changing hand every hand.
Yeah. Changing 1,000
right.
per hand every hand, yes. Okay.
Sounds good.
Hand to hand.
That's a good grand hand. Let's go. Oh. Now am I going to try and... Oh, it's hard.
Ooh.
Now, I've got something good, but I
Ooh.
could go better. Do I risk going better? Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Mine, at least mine's an easy decision.
I'm going to stick. I'm not rolling nothing.
What?
That's actually a little bit more tactical than I thought it was going to be on decision making. You guys can roll up to 2 dice if you want.
Okay, I'm going to roll 2.
I have rolled my 2.
Okay.
And I have to stick after 1 roll, presumably.
Yeah, just the 1. Yeah.
That'll do.
You roll all of them and get 1 more roll, and then that's it. Yeah. Okay. Agnar, what you got?
I've got trip 5s.
Whoa. Rack, what you got?
Pair of 4s.
And I've got a 3 4 5.
Ooh.
So I don't win. Agnar gets the win, and we each give Agnar 500 credits.
Yep.
I'll make a note of that. Okay, second hand. Oh, that's not so good. Not so good. I have to re-roll there. Okay, well that's what I've got.
I'll re-roll 2 as well. Oh.
Okay. I'll go first this time because I think I'll be the one to beat easily. A pair of 2s with a 6 supporting.
Okay.
Agnar, what you got?
Well, I started with a pair of 2s and then re-rolled and got another 2.
3 2s?
So 3 2s.
Aggers.
Oof.
What you got, Rack?
And I've got 3 1s.
Oh,
So Agnar wins again. That's 2 for Agnar.
it's a close call.
He's only got to win 1 more to win it. And then we'll have a roll-off, Rack, if we're drawing. Yeah, come on.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, oh, that's good. Come on. Luck be a lady tonight. Reroll that one. Okay.
I'll re-roll 2.
Whoa, so loud.
Yeah.
Wow. What you got, Rack?
Pair of 1s.
Oh no. Zelon, what's happened? Infinite Monkey Tails, hey, you've raided us just as we're playing a gambling game to see who takes on the toast. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the raid.
Thank you. Agnar, what you got? What you get?
I've got a 6 high. I was going for the run and ended up with nothing.
Well, my friends, I've got what they call on us in El Diablo. 666.
Okay.
Oh.
Big
So
win.
you've won 1.
I've won 1. Back in the
Rack
game.
yet to score.
Rack yet to score. Let's roll again. How you doing, some old pirate? Angie Pops as well. Look, all my favourite raiders from the group. Hope you guys are doing good.
500. Sorry, I'll mark that down.
Roll again. Oh no. Oh,
I'm not going to re-roll any.
It's not very good poker face there. Okay. I think I'm the easy one to beat again. Double 3. Rack.
3 4s.
Oh, Aggers.
Oh, I've got 4 5 6.
Oh, so Rack wins.
Finally off the mark. It's been a while.
How you doing, Monkey Tails? Did you stream? What were you streaming? I always love to know what you guys are streaming. You always stream something really interesting.
Very true.
Yeah, good work, Biggs. Good work.
Thanks, Biggs.
Oh no, this is another risky reroll. Oh dear. Okay.
I'm gonna roll 2.
When work gives me the visualizer, everyone will be able to see my rolling. Okay. Rack, you look very casual there.
I'm sticking with what I've got.
Oh, here we go. And what is it that you've got?
I actually rolled 3 4 5 6. So it's a 4 5 6.
Very tasty.
A 6 high straight.
6 high straights. Good. Agnar, can you beat it?
Sorry, Ben. That's 3 6s. I don't know if you can tell on my weird
El Diablo.
E12 shaped dice.
And I've just got a pair of 3s, 2 trays. Which means Agnar wins.
Yes.
And you and I, Rack, have to roll off for defeat.
That's what we have to do.
The sweet smell of defeat. Okay,
You ready for this?
I am. That was a very good
give it a shot.
early 90s song reference there. You're ready for this?
I had an okay start, but I'm going to need a couple more dice.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Right. Daddy Agnar mode. Yes. Daddy Agnar mode.
Great.
Covering my fines. You legend. Thanks.
I think we're going to be okay here.
Okay. What you got then? I've got 2 2s. Desmond.
3 5s and a 4.
Oh.
Nice.
So I don't need to.
I rolled 2 5s to start with, so it was not a hard one to hit.
So Daddy Agnar is covering the bets because he's so generous. Which means, Agnar, I'm not very well off at the minute. Can you see me? Can you see me all right? Yeah. Just for now. I'll catch you back later.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He'll throw 500 over to Rack.
Thanks.
He'll throw 1,000 over to Rack. He'll
thanks, man. And
give 500 from him for that last hand.
And and
In
don't
theory.
forget, Aggers, you owe me 500 as well.
What for?
For the one that I beat you once.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's true.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
It's late. He's tired.
Rack storms off to bed, wrapping his arms around in a fresh drink. It's like, we've achieved partial victory.
Cara puts the 500 credits onto her cash card into her account with 112,000.
Naturally.
Naturally. And it's been a long time since I've played that, Agnar. Good call on the game. Now, if you don't mind, I've just heard my device has vibrated a couple of times, which means that a couple more people have liked my latest picture. So I'm going to go and, now that I'm famous and all, I'm going to go and chat with them. And
What was it a picture of? Sorry.
What was it a picture of? It was a picture. I managed to get your arm and Stefan's arm in the same frame at once, and asked the people who would win an arm wrestle between these two. I'll tell you the results in the morning. Get some sleep. Don't worry about it. I'm sure they've all said you.
As am I.
Oh,
nice.
Well, we know that Rack would win any arm wrestle.
Actually, his he's not the brightest of tools, but the physical area is not bad for him. I think he's okay.
That's what we've always said about him. A physically fine specimen.
A fine, floofy specimen. Yes.
What a guy.
Okay, so as the evening saunters on, you guys all settle down into your various cots and prepare for bed, however you want. There is, at least temporarily, nothing to fear, and nothing disturbs your sleep. You awake completely naturally, to the sounds of a large and slightly hungover Varga banging into the furniture, and to the insanely rapid clicking sound of his friend and comrade Amelia field stripping and reassembling her rifle blindfolded, as she's done 1,000 times before and does every morning. Sammy is sitting up, just carefully examining 2 bits of rock she picked up from the ground, and Zoe is sitting up but has her arms folded and her eyes closed, as if she's just sleeping but now upright for some reason.
It's the next. That's what I do. It's the next step towards getting up. Takes a number of steps in my experience. That's just one of them. Oh, what a lovely picture you've painted there.
So everyone gets up. There is some breakfast being thrown around by Rack, who's determined to fry things and then eat them. So there's plenty to go around.
Oh, lovely. You're not a bad cook, Rack. You'll make someone a good husband one of these days.
NCO, you got to be able to cook and hit people.
Well, that'd explain why you managed to hit me so well with that bit of fried whatever it was just then.
Not in that order.
Oh, what a way to start the day. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Are you coming down the mines with us today?
I don't know. I suppose I should check one out. I now own one, apparently. There's one underneath the place, so I should probably, at least in theory, turn up and check it out.
That seems like a good idea. How about you, Amelia? Are you hanging out here, or are you going down with Rack?
I'm not really loving the idea of mines filled with venomous reptiles.
That's true. You're probably safe up here with the really big reptiles.
My thoughts exactly.
At least you'll be able to see them coming. Yeah, well, I think we're looking forward to going down, aren't we? Stefan, if you've, it would be nice to go. It feels like a while since we've been deep underground.
It's been a long time. Been a long time since we last ventured underground. Definitely.
Get our mine legs back. Yeah.
Mine legs.
Mine legs. Whose legs? Mine legs.
Mine legs.
Cool. Yeah, let's so Sarai's quite chirpy because she went to bed and wasn't drinking, so she's sort of getting herself ready, getting her gear together, ready for sort of a bit of action, if that's what's happening. Cara, in her usual way, pulls herself up, slowly pulls her stuff on, has a little bit to eat, but not much, and seems happy with the traffic that her social media's doing. So she puts that device away for a while. She's pleased. Apparently, it's 56% think Stefan would win in the arm wrestling. So she won't tell anyone. She won't tell anyone that though. She doesn't want to rock the boat, So.
Oh well, you wouldn't want to rock the boat.
No, of course not.
As we're having breakfast, can Agnar find a moment where people are busy doing stuff? I'll just go up to Stefan and quietly just say to him, "Can you at some point give this to Rack for me without him noticing?" And it's a credit chip with 1,000 credits on it. And he'll just say he lost it to me last night gambling, but I think after the way he had to barter for that G carrier, I think he could do with the credits more than we could at this point. And Stefan sure takes it, puts it in his pocket, and then they get ready for the day.
Excellent stuff. Okay, you guys wake up in the in the same place you went to sleep, of course, in the right hand one of the three main buildings at the surface of the mine, which I think I should probably show you in actual fact.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to change to the.
There's a map.
Roll. Means I need to change the combat bar, which has the old graphics still. Much to my chagrin. There you go. That's better. It's better on the side, I think.
For this one, I'm just going to leave it like this so you can have a sort of overview of what we're talking about.
Cool.
So, hopefully this makes sense. The darker area is the sort of valley, and the lighter area is the surrounding cliffs. Those are the three buildings in a row. The one that is unobscured and you can see the inside of, such as it is the one you've just woken up in. The shed is up to the north there.
Yes, I remember it well.
And down here, you can see the fence down at the bottom, the entrance to the canyon.
Yeah.
And left and right are the two sort of prefab buildings built up against the cliff faces.
Are the squares to our regular scale, or are they more zoomed out for this kind?
They are regular scale.
Okay, so 4 meters. Cool. Was it 6 foot?
So it's 1.5 meters per square.
1.5 meters. Yeah. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, about 39, 38, 39 meters. Ah, nice. Oh, at least we don't have far to travel. Cool.
It isn't a long commute, is it? No.
Nice.
Probably good for business.
Keep it all
Undoubtedly.
As they're getting ready, Stefan will look over at Soraya and he'll just say, "Do you think is this the right time for the hold up the flamethrower?"
Soraya smiles. Says, "I know you've been ever since you bought that thing. Every time you've wanted to use it, there's been a reason not to. No, we're in an enclosed ship. No, we're on a fancy cruise. No, it's supposed to be a peaceful thing. But I think today, going down into a dark mine where there could be killer snakes, I'll tell you what, it's a good call."
It kind of feels right, doesn't it? I mean,
I'm quite excited.
Shiny.
Very shiny. It's exciting to use it. You've definitely got fuel for it, yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be embarrassing otherwise. Let's just double check. Oh.
You don't want me to double check.
I take it the environment, Ben, there's nothing that would stop it from working properly? So
No,
there's an atmosphere, isn't there? It's
there is an atmosphere.
dirty.
It would be, because the atmosphere is thin and therefore quite low in oxygen, it wouldn't be quite as powerful as it would be normally, but it is still going to work.
Our
Wonderful.
age.
Stefan doesn't really think about that so much.
He's just rubbing the sides of the gun. Oh, lovely.
New toys.
Just as long as I'm standing behind you, I'm well up for it.
Yeah, of course.
I said, I've got my. I'll tell you what, you've got that. I might keep my my new shiny as well. My guided carbine. Although I don't know if that's right for such a space. Pop something to follow around a couple of corners, maybe if something runs. But I don't know. I'll keep it. I'm enjoying it. It did me well last time. It's nice. Yeah. Of course, I'm sure it's going to be a peaceful adventure. Go down, be bored, look at some rocks, see Sammy's little face light up. She sort of nudges Sammy, and yeah, you're going to enjoy it. And then back up to the surface again.
Just in time for brunch.
Oh, keep talking. I've heard Rack makes a fine brunch. Cool. Do you think they're going to come to us, or should we go knock at their door?
Let's go find out.
Fantastic. So Soraya and Kara will both throw on their face masks. Of course, for anyone watching it, we're not being overly COVID safe in the future. It's a tainted atmosphere, so we have to wear one. Quite seriously. Cool. Who is anyone staying behind them, Ben? If we're going out.
Sammy and Zoe are definitely going to come with you, because Sammy would like to see the mine, and Zoe's going to stay close to Sammy no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Amelia is staying up top.
Yeah.
But Rack is coming with you.
Cool.
Perfect.
Oh, what a band of merry adventurers we are. 7 of us. Look at us.
Magnificent.
The resplendent, I'd say.
The resplendent 7.
The resplendent 7 rides again.
Absolutely is. Yep. It always seems to work out to be 7 somehow.
It is funny, that. Yeah. Come on, crew, saddle up. Let's ride out into the canyon. Okay.
So you head out of the front of the house, the building, through the airlock. And are you heading to the house in the middle?
Yeah, I think so. Is that? Yeah, we'll sort of bang on it, see what's going on.
Okay. Because you're sort of meandering along at a slightly rambling pace, just gambling along, not exactly sprinting. By the time you get there, you can actually hear the pressure changing in the airlock. It's already cycling. And after a couple of moments, no more, it swings open cheerfully. No seeming resistance on it. It's reasonably well maintained and seems to be looking okay. And Penna, not Essery, sticks her head out. Good morning. Sleep well?
Oh, like a log. These cots are more comfortable than they look. Or maybe I was just more tired than I felt.
I think that's probably more likely.
I hope that you guys have slightly more salubrious surroundings, and seeing as you're here the whole time.
Yeah, we got a decent bedroom.
Oh, good. That is good. What's Please forgive me if I'm being very forward about this. We know this room and we know your room. What was the room on the end?
Equipment store.
Equipment store. The door looks a lot newer than this. Is it a newer building in general? Was that added after all the others?
Can you roll a persuade for me, please?
I will.
With social.
I will. So yeah, always have to ask in that very friendly. Oh, I'm an idiot. What's going on? Oh, wait, that's the way to everyone's heart. Oh, hopefully good enough. 5 plus 3 is 8.
Okay. She says, "Oh no, the building isn't new. The door got damaged. Someone tried breaking in, believe it or not."
Wow. Not a Moamph, I hope.
Oh, I don't think it was wildlife. I think it was someone after something.
Sorry, Ben, just quickly, was that an accurate length of pause for her speech? Or was that you thinking of how to word it?
It was fairly accurate, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Luke. Do go on.
No, that's a very good point. I'm glad you're sort of. Now I feel like you're standing back watching every minute, which I quite like. Actually, I feel much more backed up on it. Well, actually, you've gone Agnumbo again.
Yeah.
One more thing. That pause. Oh man, that's pretty good. Was that Did you see who did it, or were you sort of in here or something when it happened, or down in the mine?
It was at night, just a few nights ago, actually. We hadn't been doing any mining that day. We'd actually gone out to the scene. Well, the Garrow's place.
Yeah, Garrow's place.
To find out if it had been completely wrecked or if it was salvageable. And we got there and were poking around to see what on earth was going on. A couple of the pan system power people turned up and they started directing people to pick up some of their rubbish, and move it off. We left them to it. I mean, obviously Garrow was gone by then. They'd already shipped him off to the Priory. So we visited a couple of other locals on the way home since we were out and about, swung by a few of the other people in Swisher, and then headed home. And by the time we got there, it was too late to do really much. So we just buttoned up for the night. The sensor went off middle of the night, but it must have caught them leaving or something rather than arriving, because by the time we got out front, the door was damaged and no sign of them.
Have they managed to get in at all?
No. We were concerned though, because it's a pressure door.
Yeah.
We were concerned that it might not necessarily hold a seal. I mean, I say we. Rocco was confident it was fine, but I was worried.
So you're keeping marine creatures in there then? Did the seals escape?
Follow.
You've got a camera on your door, right? We saw it as we came in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was a nice bit of kit. Did that pick anything up? Because that's looking straight up the pass.
Apparently, it detected them leaving, but not arriving. I don't know why.
Stefan will say, "Oh, are they linked to the sensors?"
What now? Sorry.
Are the cameras linked to the sensors? Do they only record when something's picked up?
Yeah, the cameras essentially only record when when there's movement in front of them.
I see.
Is there any way down into the space if they didn't come through the gate? Is there a back way? Could they have climbed over and dropped down? Could they have come out the mines when no one was,
I mean, if they come up out of the mines, the entrances to the
of course,
to the mines are within the line of the camera site. I mean, I guess they could have climbed down any of the cliffs from the side or wherever, but I mean, I don't really know why. I mean, we haven't got much to hide here.
And nothing was missing.
They didn't get in.
So nothing was missing.
No.
Okay. You didn't? Did you bring anything back from Garrow's place?
No. I mean, we looked around in case there was something personal or perishable that he'd want kept, but
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
once we figured that the PSP people were there, we didn't really want to get in the way of them collecting up their own junk.
Makes a lot of sense.
Probably just a random. Do you get many random break-ins? It's probably just a random break-in, Stefan would say.
Oh, like Lara's lot or something.
There is no history of it around here. Generally speaking, the miners we don't normally even lock things. The only reason we lock the equipment shed is because some of it's quite valuable and some of it's quite dangerous. We don't want someone blundering in there drunk, heading back to the wrong building.
You don't want miners using the mining equipment.
We're okay with them using the mining equipment. We don't want to get lost on the way to the fresher and peeing on the mining equipment.
Fair enough. So, people that know what's in there would know that it's worth breaking in, but anyone else would just be taking a chance, you'd say.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know what's in there. You know, a lot of the people who work around here have been and gone as needed, but it would be unlike our locals to do something like that.
Well, like we've heard from you and Garrow, it's a community, right? You guys got each other's backs, help each other out as needed, and so on.
You'll mine where the wanted ore is. It would seem silly for someone to make off with your equipment.
Exactly.
Do you guys have any interest in like flying machines, ship parts? Do you have much knowledge about that sort of thing?
I mean, not really. I don't even know how the air pressure systems work here if Garrow can't fix them.
Oh. And is it just her that's... Sorry, did you say it's just her, or is...
Yeah, just her.
Yeah, Rocco's not in. How about Rocco? Has he got much past experience with flying machines and ships and stuff like that?
I don't think so. He's famously hard on machinery, if you know what I mean. It kind of comes apart in his hands.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure he should be around equipment that people's lives depend on.
Seems that makes sense. That makes sense. He knows what he's good with, and he's good with what he knows.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of which, you guys are good down below. Are we heading down soon? Is that the plan?
Sure. I mean, I can come with you if you like, but I don't need to. I've seen it.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything I guess we need to know about how things work? Is there any quirks, weird things, follow the white arrows but not the yellows, and, press twice to get the thing working, wind a crank, anything like that?
Not really. You can go in either side, but truthfully, I'd recommend going in the east entrance.
Okay.
Simply because the west entrance is where we're piling all of the spoilings and things like that.
Okay, so if we go east, there's no spoilers. Okay,
yeah.
That's good.
No spoilers.
But you can go in either way, and be careful down there. It's reasonably well lit. There's lighting down there, but it's quite gloomy anyway. So let your eyes adjust. Your Varga friend might find it a little bit harder to see.
You're used to that, aren't you, Aggers?
Yeah, I am with you lot.
The old
Spend all our time in
eyes.
And watch out for the crates.
Oh, we will do. What's the? Is there an easy way to scare them off?
Not that we've ever found.
Okay. Well,
They are sometimes aggressive and sometimes not, but we've never worked out what makes them one way or the other.
will they sometimes just come at you, or will they always come in response to a reaction?
They're not dogs.
Have you?
I would say when they're on their own, they're usually pretty timid.
Okay. When alone, the crates are timid. Okay. When alone, but when they're in gangs, they're like teenagers. They get all like brave.
They certainly get more aggressive when there's a group. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Cool.
Oh,
well,
one more thing.
Yeah. Yes.
I can do it too.
How very dare you?
There's an equipment locker down there as well, but that's locked away, so you won't find anything dangerous in there. All of the dangerous kit, the heavy kit, is locked away in there.
In the equipment locker. Okay, thanks. And you said that's down there, so just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Equipment locker locked. Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. I've got a feeling one of our numbers hanging around. It's down below is not her thing. So, but I think the rest of us are heading down. Hopefully we won't be too long. Have a look around, see what Sammy can find out for you. See if she can find any more interesting tidbits. Tidbits, not titbits.
If she's got any advice for us, we'd appreciate it.
Cool. Nice one. Thank you.
Socks wants to know. Sorry, Ben. Before we leave, what colour eyes this person has?
What? Penna?
Yes.
Blue.
Oh.
There you go, Socks.
Legit.
Blue eyes.
Legit is here. I have to do it with my fingers when legit turns up.
Evening. Welcome.
Yeah, legit. How you doing, legit? You alright? Are you doing good? Cool. I know. Ah. Cool. Right. Let's go. Let's go. Legit mining. Perfect time for Legitimine to come in.
To the mines.
To the mines.
To the mines.
To the mines.
Okay.
Let's get to the mines.
Which way, loosely speaking, are you going?
Are we happy to go east?
I want the spoilers.
You want the spoilers?
No, I don't. I'm happy.
You can go either way. Seriously, I mean, it's they're both going to be unlocked. They're not secured doors.
She didn't seem to be secretive about it, so yeah. So I would expect this could be it.
Yeah. Let's. I guess we follow the advice, unless anyone else has any suggestions. Left hand will say.
Oh. East is closer by at least 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 meters. Every little helps.
Every meter counts.
Every meter counts.
Okay. All right. So you're heading towards the east entrance.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, as you arrive, gang-handed, so to speak, the door opens normally and lets into essentially a fairly basic rectangular space with another door the other side. It isn't a proper pressure door, but it appears to have some filtering around it, so that if you were to be worried about, say, a dust storm or particularly toxic cloud approaching over the desert, it would largely keep that out. But it's not. You're going to need breathing equipment or a vac suit to operate the other side. It's not a proper airlock system. Inside this relatively small space, there are some work clothes and boots just sort of hung on hooks and pegs. A couple of handheld computers on shoulder straps, also slung there, presumably for logging work, or they're fairly ordinary industrial handheld kit. There are a couple of med kits on the walls, but they look pretty basic, dust-covered, functional industrial med kits. And the other side, a door through into the cliff.
Kara would definitely like to grab one of those tablets, please.
Okay.
Is it on? Is it easy to turn on?
Yes, it's a pretty standard model. You can flick it on, no trouble.
Is there a login or anything like that, or am I straight to the system?
You are straight into the system.
Cool. Just flick around. Is there an option for? Is there a map or anything like that on it?
No.
What's it offering? Is it basically like entering what I've mined for the day kind of thing, logging things?
Yeah, for all practical intents and purposes, it's a communicator.
Yep.
So that everyone carrying one can communicate with each other down in the mines without too much difficulty.
Yep.
And presumably with those on the surface as well. So it acts as a short-range radio and texting system. It contains a notice board function for notices, which you can scroll back through if you're interested.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, looking back through old messages or old reports, like what they've been getting and things like that. If anything stands out.
Essentially, the message log is relatively simple updates that seem to have been put in on each day the mine is active, and from time to time through it. Everything from expected weather reports, temperature reports, an occasional thing about the particular kind of mineral that they're after that day, and some much more non-business related stuff. Like there are literally things in there saying, prepare to come up from the mine, lunch will be ready in half an hour, kind of thing. These are it's the log of a working day for someone who goes into a pit for a living.
Is it all logged by the same person, or are there other names on there and stuff like that?
There aren't any names at all. It's all completely anonymous. It's just the only tagging is by the computer.
Yep.
So if you pick up computer number 11, then you're person number 11 for your shift.
Okie dokie. Kara would like to press the button that means we can communicate with the surface, if that's okay. She's going to try it out. Hello, this is Kara Alaska. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Over. Can anyone hear me? Over.
A couple of seconds later, there's a pickup, and you can hear Rocco's voice on the other end. Yes, Rocco here. You finding your way around?
We are, Rocco. How are you? I hope you're doing well today. Did you get a nice sleep?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad.
That's good. Oh, yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully we don't need any help, but just thought, if you don't mind, we'll carry one of these down just in case we need a little bit of insight. If we go running in fear of terrifying beasties or anything like that.
Sure. If you need more, they're probably in the west entrance, because that's the way most people come out. And they'd have left them there, and, well, people never remember to take them over to the entrance one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, a man's work is never done, Rocco. A man's work is never done. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it anyway. Toodaloo. We'll be in touch. Keep it real.
Good. Have a nice time.
Yeah, bye. Love you, bye. Bye. Love you, bye. How many tablets are there, Ben?
There are 3 on the wall.
Carl will sort of pass on to Agnar. So, do you reckon it's worth taking a few just in case we can communicate with each other anyway, but if we get split up, it might be worth all being able to contact surface.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. And Agnar will hang one of the med kits that he's been looking at back up on the wall. And so the next time you speak to them, you might want to get them to check the inventory and the dates on their med kits, because it's not looking good.
The other thing these tablets have is emergency lights.
Oh, that's handy.
So if you do find yourself in the pitch dark, you can use those.
That's very handy.
That is very handy. Carver will hand a tablet to Zoe, if that's okay. If Zoe is indeed going to be staying close with Sammy.
Sure.
And not that she sucks. Saraya will grab a first aid kit, because although she's already killed someone with a first aid kit, at least she's got a chance of rolling.
I'll kill again.
Oh yeah, don't risk
I've
it.
killed before and I'll kill again.
And Agnar will say to Kara, have you got any more of those Starbursts?
Starbursts.
Eye drops.
I do have some Starburst eye drops. Would you like one for your old eyes?
I mean, only if you don't mind.
No,
I mean, perhaps it might be something that I should pick up in future.
I got thousands.
Now that I know they exist.
I got thousands of the things. she pulls out a roll from a sort of a trouser pocket, like on her leg. Big roll of them, like Mentos. And she pops one into his hand. Go on, get that down here. See like we see, Agnar. See the world the way the rest of us see it.
And we're not actually in a proper airlock, are we?
No.
If I want to administer them, as far as I'm aware, do I have to go back to somewhere? One of the 3 buildings, I guess.
Could he hold his breath?
The environment says it requires a breath mask. It doesn't say it requires goggles. So if you can hold your breath long enough to administer them, which I imagine you can, you shouldn't actually need to go back. No.
Okay.
I can do it for you if you want to focus on holding your breath. I've done it a number of times for myself.
Yeah, sure. Agnar would know, but I don't, Ben. His combat armor, I assume if his mask is removed and then put back on, will oxygen be a problem?
No.
If the environment gets in, it will refresh.
Once you take the helmet off in any environment and put it back on again, the armor contains its own. It's effectively a vac suit as well. Remember.
Yeah.
So it contains its own pressure and filter system.
So it flushes it straight out again, sort of thing.
Worth checking for me, though. Agnar will go, yeah, please, if you don't mind, and I'll just take it off, and he'll take a deep breath first, and then take it off. I did that in the wrong order.
Take it off. Then take
Agnar didn't.
Oh. It's not why I thought he would die, but he had a good run. While he's doing that, Kara fiddles with the top of the dropper and oh no, that's not it. No, wrong way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, I got it. Oh, hang on, I've dropped it. Hang on. No, it's okay. I've got it in my hand. Okay, hang on. I've got it. Okay, where's your eye? Okay, hang on. This one. No, keep your eye. Okay, that was good. Now the other one. Hang on. Oh, what? Hang on. No, I missed. Hang on. That's in your fur. It's okay. I think I've got enough. Okay, I think it's in. Okay, it's in. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's one of those. Take a deep breath and then dive into the swimming pool in that order.
Yeah. Order is important.
We are sorted. All right. It will take a few moments for your eyes to adjust. Can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
That's a 3.
Okay. In essence, it's going to be so soon that it wouldn't worry. You can already start to feel your eyesight getting a little better.
Wonderful. How long do these last, Cara?
Oh, I think it lasts a while.
Yeah, hours, I think.
Hours. It's a good old chunk of time. When the come down is not so good though. The come down, if I remember correctly, you got pretty blurry, useless eyes for a little while. But like an hour or something, I think.
Yeah.
It lasts most of a day, but then you get an hour of fuzziness, if I remember correctly.
Now you say that, I remember well.
Now a warning.
No, you should have read this first.
Yeah, we should have read the instructions.
It's all right. I've used them a couple of times now, and I'm fine. She looks at it and says, "Oh, look, your irises have gone all like the sexy cloudy grey colour already. Yeah, it's a good look. That's classic
Okay.
Starlight.
It matches my salt and pepper fur.
It does.
And there's
Point
small
it
print
out.
on the back that says, "Do not use around venomous reptiles. It attracts them."
Eye drops and Moamp feed.
It is the way. So, yeah, you are gathered of equipment. You have there are filter masks if you need them for emergency purposes. There are protective suits, though I think your whole crowd is already wearing some form of atmosphere-proof armor.
Great.
And there are med kits if you want to take one with you.
Yeah, so Sarai's going to grab one. Although, are there many medkits? Are there enough that you could do like the whole in the military where everyone has one and you get it administered off you, sort of thing?
No, there's essentially one on each side wall.
Okay. Right. You said Agnar was taking one, didn't you, Ian, as you came in?
No, he was just looking through them. He's got 3. He's still got 3 on him, so he's all right.
Sarai will take one just in case as a backup. Very much a backup.
Okay.
And Stefan will grab a couple of spare masks.
All right.
I assume they have some kind of like fitting that he could perhaps buckle to something, so he doesn't have to walk around holding.
They're pretty much fold flat things. You can stuff them away anywhere.
Oh, cool, perfect. We'll take a couple of spare ones of those.
Okay. All right. So when you're ready, you can move through into the mountain.
Suddenly, it feels a bit nightmare now. You're in a room. Yeah, let's go.
With
we ready?
masks on.
Yeah, exactly. We ready to go, team? Let's go. Let's go through.
We're as ready as we will ever be. So.
Okay.
Where are we?
The other side, you enter a sort of fairly dull-looking carved chamber, which extends just a little way to the north, ending in a fairly basic but well-maintained looking mine shaft with a lift car.
Will 7 of us fit in?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good. Does it look like it's made for 7 of us? I don't want to get halfway down and then it to break down.
Yes, it looks as if it's designed not only to be capable of moving a person around, but also some quite heavy equipment.
Oh, cool. Cara will turn to Sammy and say,
and
you good?
Big boxes of rocks as well.
Oh, of course, it needs to be big. Sammy, you good? You ready for it?
Oh, excited. She's already sort of looking at the walls, but she's kind of seen these kinds of walls from the other side of them.
Mm-hmm.
She's hoping to see some more interesting stuff down below.
Yeah, seems reasonable. Cool. Let's not waste any more time.
As we progress from this point, Ben, can Agnar just keep a note of... I suppose we're not going to see any doors till we come back up again, but any damage on any doors similar to what we saw on the other door?
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Were you keeping an eye on the 2 you went through on the way in here?
I'm going to say no because I didn't say it.
Well, you're still immediately on the
we're
side of the inner one.
We're going to come back that way anyway. He'll check the inner door.
Okay. Can you just very quickly roll a streetwise for me, please?
Oh. Is that with anything
That'll
else?
be with intellect.
Wonderful. That was not very good. He rolled a 6 -3.
Okay.
Is a 3.
Is a 3. Yeah. Even in the future, 6 - 3 is a 3. Yes. As far as you can tell, the door is undamaged beyond normal wear and tear. I mean, it looks like at one time or another, 11,000 different pairs of boots may have banged into it, but nothing you wouldn't expect to see in a door leading into a mining area.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. He'll keep just a general active lookout on anything that's not walls, if that makes sense. You know, like any man-made surfaces that we come across. He'll just be wary, I suppose, of anything similar.
All right. Well, you make your way over to the lift. Do you want to examine it or just jump in?
Soraya would like to check to see if it appears to be in good working order, if it's powered, and if it is powered, to check the power that it's connected to, if that makes sense. Just a once over of what the deal is.
Absolutely. Can I have an engineering check, please? With education.
Thank you very much.
Stefan will say, just turn it off and turn it on again. It'll be fine.
Look, that's your answer to everything.
Tried and tested.
So yeah, that. I get a +1. +1, 9. +1. Let's roll tonight. 9 + 1 is 10.
Nice.
Okay. Like everything else that you've seen around here, the place looks to be pretty well maintained. Nothing is incredibly shiny or new or luxurious, but it all seems to be well looked after, and this lift looks no different.
From what I can tell, guys, it looks all right. I think, and they didn't seem too freaked out. I guess if we get stuck down there, we can go up the other one. Are we happy to go?
Yeah. I mean, we've come this far.
Rack literally takes a running jump into the lift car, landing, sort of bounding in with excitement and enthusiasm, and then sort of hurls himself into the corner of the lift, turning around and leaning against it. Okay, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, you've been out of combat too long, Rack. Just excitement at lifts.
I enjoy excitement you get to survive.
Us too. We're trying to make a habit of it.
Good habit to get into.
It is, isn't it? All right, let's go down. Let's go down.
All right. So you, everyone piles in, and you activate the lift system. It is not, as I'm sure you'll be aware, a complicated arrangement. There is essentially a set of 2 buttons. One to return it to the top floor, and one to send it to the bottom. And indeed, when you hit the button to go down, which is the lower of the 2 buttons, again, everything is completely obvious and self-evident in terms of its operation. When you hit the lower one, the lift car starts to move. It moves reasonably slowly to begin with, but accelerates once it gets away from its start point, and it begins to descend. And as it does, there are lights periodically mounted in the walls of the lift shaft. And by their light, Sammy starts to notice the sort of strata and the patterns in the rock, and starts excitedly trying to take pictures. But because she's worried about the fact that the the car's moving. She's constantly taking pictures by like holding the camera at chest level and then sort of
moving them up,
pushing it straight up as fast as she can while she takes the shot
Oh.
to see if she could freeze the thing in place. Because it's quite dark down here. So periodically her little flash gun goes off trying to illuminate and freeze the action at that exact moment. And as you're sort of watching her do this and smiling to yourselves at the sort of quite charming thing she's trying to do and the sheer excitement in her eyes, you start to feel gravity just come on the feet a bit as the lift car begins to slow down. And eventually it reaches the bottom of the shaft where it actually falls out through a hole in the roof, basically, of a large, or not a huge, but an underground cave, and comes to a rest in its little lift cage work right at the bottom. And that is where we will take our break, gentlemen.
Fantastic. And as just before they step out the cage, Cara will lean over to Stefan and whisper, if we're lucky, we might see some of those carvings down there.
His shadow goes up his spine. Just quickly as a note then, can Stefan have counted the lights that we passed on the way down?
Yes, he can, actually.
Wonderful.
Would you like to know how many there are?
We can come back to that if you
Okay.
wish, because there might be more.
Fair enough.
But that's all good. To Grey Hill.
To Grey Hill.
Thanks,
Grey Hill.
Ox.
The greyest of all the hills.
Wonderful.
Right. Are we just waiting for how many lights there were? Sorry.
No, I think we have moved on. We are ready to take our break.
Fantastic.
So we should be back in about 5 minutes or so.
Let's do that. That's a good idea. Let's come back in 5 minutes or so. Okay, guys. Apart from Socks, who's allowed to go. No one else allowed. No, you can go if you want. We'd like you to hang
You're
around.
allowed to leave.
You're allowed to leave. We're not going to stop you. But we'd love it if you felt like you'd like to stay around. We're going to go for 5 minutes. Why don't you guys take 5 minutes, stretch your legs, have a drink, get a costume change. Kelly's turned up. You all right, Kels? Kels is taking the second shift over from Socks. I want to see like a high five as the two of you
it's
pass in
lovely
the
to
night.
see you. You've joined us just in time for us to go on break. I promise it wasn't something you said.
No.
And we will be back soon.
We'll be back in about 5 minutes, okay?
Back in a few. See you guys in a bit. Right, now bear with me while I sort this out. Hang on. I think the music's sorted.
This is the TV level production that you were talking about. Shows, wasn't it? A TV show.
People are saying it's so good production like that. That needs to go. That needs to go. That needs to come up. There we go, let the break thing. And then we need to shut up. Right, see you guys in a few. Toodaloo. Good evening. Welcome back to part 2 here on the channel of Boys from the Baltic Star with, from right to left, Luke, Ben and Ewan. You've joined us for the most important part of any Boys from the Baltic Star episode, which is the toast. And it's a very important toast. So I do hope you've got your glasses charged with whatever you're drinking. There's no judgment in what you're drinking. All drinks are equally acceptable tonight. As of about an hour ago, it falls to me for tonight's toast. So I was thinking on the loose, where I do my best thinking. And what I want to do is I want us to have the glass raised immediately. You know, like when you're at a wedding and you go a bit early on the glass raise and you have to hold it there because you don't want to take it down again. So I want to hold it there until it's time. Okay, all of you, this is an interactive segment. And yeah, Spez is well aware of the do's and don'ts of the etiquettes of British weddings now. He's well versed. Right, so if you would humour me, the ballads of Greyhill Bast. Now here's a little story, to tell it is a must, about an unsung hero that moves away your empty pints. Some people make a fortune, others earn a mint. This man didn't earn much, in fact he was flipping skint. Now Greyhill was a barman, he wears a barman's hat. He wears Corblimey aprons and lived on the Baltic Star. He looks a little proper in his great big sexy boots. He's got such a job to pull 'em up that he calls them daisy roots. Some folk give tips at Christmas and some of them forget. So when he picks their pints up, he spills some on their laps. Now one old man got nasty and to the captain wrote, next time Greyhill went round there, he punched him up the throat. Now Greyhill was a barman, he wears a barman's hat. He wears Corblimey aprons and lives in the Baltic Star. We miss him muchly. To the late great Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
To Greyhill Bast.
Thank you, Gamers Edge, and thank you, Infinite Monkey Tales, to the mimosas.
Exactly. Oh, that was almost as bad as holding my breath in the first half of the game. I'll feel that tomorrow.
It's been a tough stream for you, Ewan.
I haven't got the musculature to hold a mug up that long.
No, exactly. I'd have found a much more comfortable position if I knew what was coming. It was very nice, though, Luke. Very well said.
Yes, excellent. So, thank you very much. An excellent job, Luke.
Nice bit of Lonnie Donegan, I believe. Happy days.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. I didn't write it myself. I know it. I know it's high quality. It's something that I could have put together on the loo, but no, sadly not.
That was believable. You know, the emotion was behind it,
I'm an emotional guy.
which I think is a testament to Greyhill himself.
He brings a tear to my eye. I know he brings a tear to your eye at the minute.
Well, yeah, nothing but tears in my eyes.
I bet you wish we had real life star drop at the minute. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
Oh, look, there's some lighting in this. Look at this lighting. Oh, bet you've outdone yourself here. Look at that. Oh my goodness! I actually want to explore that.
It's very
I'm normally
nice.
terrified, but I'm liking this.
Okay.
It's like walking on the crust of a beautiful pie.
Let's look a bit like that colour.
You step off the lift car into a dark brownish hued mine corridor, roughly cut. Machine tools have made short work of the rock here. It is lit periodically by yellow tinted lights attached to the walls. They appear to be low power but high efficiency elements, and they produce a soft but penetrating glow. Thank you for joining us, Infinite Monkey Tales. Thank you very much for coming along.
Yeah, thanks.
We do love being the subject of your raids. We really love it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. And we, as we look across, you can see that the passageway you're in, as you can tell, basically runs north and south. It is a rough hewn rock corridor.
Not as good as your corridors, Rec.
I don't know. I like the colour scheme.
Are you considering colours for your place yet?
Yeah, I'm thinking grey.
It doesn't take too much work, that.
It's true, and I blend in.
I like it. Good thinking.
On the subject of lights, Ben, how many lights were there on the way down?
There were 20 in total.
And if I was to look up at the last two, roughly how far between each light? Or those particular lights, I assume they're evenly-ish spaced.
If you peer up, it's the lift car. It's not like a sealed lift shaft, so you can actually see at least a little way up the shaft. It appears to be the case that there's a light about every 5 meters or so to eye.
Okay, cool.
It could be 4, but you know that kind of distance.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. That is all I wanted to know. I could have asked the person at the top, but that would have required forward planning.
Excellent.
I love your dedication to not retconning as well. Big fan of that.
Well, some things it's okay, I think, but
Got to play with a straight bat.
yeah, definitely. Stefan, look around. So, left or right, I guess. Gesture out to the group.
I don't know.
Or 3 and 4.
Let's go. Let's go right. Something feels right about going right.
Is that towards the north?
Yes.
Yeah, which way do we get out the lift?
What way are we facing? Behind us, in front of us? I don't know. Yeah.
You can essentially step out of the lift in any of 3 directions. It's an open-sided car.
Let's talk compasses then. Yeah, north, please.
Okay, north it is. Now at this point, I'm not going to worry about putting your tokens down because you're not in combat or anything. We're just going to go as we go and treat it as a map so you can see where you are and what's going on.
Appreciate that.
And essentially, you begin to set off to the north, and as you head north, the passageway begins to veer sort of towards the northwest, and as it heads off, not very far up there, it comes to a fairly substantial multi-way junction, which seems to lead off in all sorts of different directions. And if I quickly
Oh my!
Ooh.
show you what that looks like.
Oh god!
You sort of moved up to effectively that junction on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can see is what you can see.
What you see is what you get.
Well, you certainly chose the. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the more open of the two routes, but I could be way off. Agnar will say.
Trust your judgment, Agnar. Trust your judgment.
Do we? Have you got a map on that tablet, Cara?
No.
We need to leave a trail of breadcrumbs behind
We
us.
might need to. Let's drop something at every. Leave a person at every junction. Hello. Hello.
That sounds a good idea.
Hello. I'm sure I can leave something if we're worried about getting lost.
Well, I mean, I think we know that the way out is only. It was only over the street when we were up there, wasn't it? So I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yes, Kelly's right. I'll tell you what I'll do. Cara says. She does pull out her aerosol.
That is totally Cara.
That is totally Cara. And on the corner, on both corners. So if we've come up from the X, the corners where we could go left, right, the crossroads bend, basically.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides, pointing back towards the lift, she's going to draw 2 arrows on the wall pointing back towards the lift. If that's possible.
It is possible, yeah.
Good work, Kelly. Good work, Kelly. Virtual high five to Kels.
That is a very good shout.
Excellent. This is strong work. In fact, that deserves a trippy Cara, I feel.
If that doesn't, then nothing does.
Where do you want to go? I guess up north, carry on where we're going, down south to the little dangly.
North sounds good. Unless you've got a preference.
No, we'll do what they do in mazes. Just stick to one direction and keep going in that direction, and you'll get out eventually.
Oh, please don't start singing One Direction.
I don't know any One Direction songs, sadly. I think I was out of the country when they got big.
They've been stricken from all records in the far off sci-fi future.
There was a great One Direction burning, was there, of the second Imperium?
The second, yeah. That's what I believe. It's canon now.
It's canon. Make a phone call to Mongoose. Get to sort it out.
So you're sort of heading off to the sort of northeast, is that right?
Yes, please.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Heading in that direction, you see what appears to be a partly loose rock-filled endpoint to a cave. In fact, it looks as if it's the kind of place where people are currently, or at least recently, mining. There are rocks all over the floor at this endpoint, and Sammy excitedly goes over to quickly examine the walls and to pick up the occasional rock from the ground and look at it. She takes pictures of some of them and starts animatedly explaining to Zoe, who's standing next to her, the sort of color schemes and the like, as if Zoe can possibly understand what she's going on about.
Oh.
Does Zoe look interested, or does she look as though she's regretting her choice to come with us?
She looks interested in her surroundings, but I'm going to ask you to roll a recon check for me.
Oh.
With intellect.
Okie dokie.
Oh, like both of us picking one person each, or just you and, or?
Just you and was it Stefan who was asking effectively?
It would be Stefan.
Yeah. So if Stefan can make a recon check with intellect, please.
Cool. It's a 5.
A 5. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't notice anything beyond the fact that Zoe appears to be alert. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No worries. Anything Agnar will shout over to Sammy? Anything unusual? Anything interesting?
Oh yes, a lot that's interesting. These are amazing. The inclusions in this are astonishing.
Well, that's good to hear.
I mean, I knew you could get true metamorphic inclusions, especially in silicates, during astonishingly high temperature, high pressure impacts, but I'd never actually seen them, I mean, on this kind of scale.
Agnar will look over to Kara and just sort of, he'll open a personal channel and he'll just say, I get the impression she could stay here all week.
Well, she's in their element. She's had to put up with a lot of negativity over the last few months with us. But let her enjoy this thing.
Oh no, yeah. It's what it is.
It's what it is.
She looks very happy.
Yep.
What a joy! It's nice to see her happy. It's nice to see Sammy happy. We're all about happy Sammy. In fact, I think I think I've got the power for a Sammy emoji. I don't think everyone else has.
And eventually she sort of squats back on her haunches and says, I wonder what else is down here. And gets up and sort of walks out to roughly join the group huddled in the entrance to this little cave area and says, where next?
Kara will sort of turn to her first and say, well, happy or happy, just keep half an eye out for the crates, yeah? And she'll sort of nod at Zoe as well about it. Just keep half an eye. We know that Zoe knows, but it's the concern that Sammy might be so excited about the rocks that she lets the guards slip a little.
That's a very good shout.
Just keep half an eye out, yeah? Just I know you're loving it. But, the last thing we need is to see the most beautiful rock in the world. What's the most beautiful rock you've ever seen, Sammy?
There's an amazing kind of malachite you get in some planets. I don't know exactly how it's formed. And the white parts of the malachite are actually silver.
That does sound amazing. And now imagine seeing something down here even more beautiful and not having the chance to tell anyone about it because you're dead. So please,
you don't
please keep
really
an eye
understand how geology works, do you?
Just please keep an eye out for those snakes while you're looking, man. We'll do the best we can. We worry about you, Sammy. We know you can look after yourself, but we do worry about you.
Okay.
We love you, Sammy. All right. And we know that you're tougher than Stefan, but still, we don't care so much about Stefan.
Stefan, what?
Oh,
Slips over his shoulder.
The car quickly turns, goes. 56% think you could win an arm wrestle, Stefan. All right. Don't worry. We know you're tough and strong.
He saw the post. He voted.
He voted.
okay. So, are you moving on?
Yeah.
And if so, which way?
Are we going to continue up around that corner then, Stefan? Agnar? I guess Agnar's. We going to do that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. You head a little bit further to the north, sort of around the corner, and as you get up there, you see sort of stretching off into the distance, again, periodically lit with lights along its length, another corridor stretching away.
Before we hit the first corner, Kara will spray again. Just can we assume that Kara is keeping track? Like, because we can see the map anyway, really. But
oh yeah,
it's so that we're not gaming it, if you know what I mean. Assume
yes,
that Kara's
I
spraying
do know
away.
what you mean.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Cool. Are we still doing all our first right hand turns, Eggers?
Makes sense, I think. Sounds good.
Okay.
Stefan, I'll ask at this point, what are we down here for again? Just sort of looking around aimlessly.
Sammy says,
"Oh God."
Well, Penner asked if I could take a look at the rocks down here and offer any advice on what might be valuable that they're ignoring, or maybe what might be found close to things they're already mining.
Mm.
And if we can find any carvings as well, Stefan, that's a bonus.
Shut up. And the shivers go down his spine again. Okay then, let's as you were.
Okay. So are you heading up the sort of first one on the right, or are you moving past that one and going down the corridor?
First one again.
Yeah, first one.
Let's follow our strategy.
All right. So as you sort of turn around the corner, you can almost immediately tell that this is not going to go much further. It's very clearly turning into a dead end. But once again, there are substantial piles. In fact, if anything, even larger piles of rock than the previous one, and larger fragments of rock. Again, this is a live rock face. This is an area where people have been digging very recently. There's the rocks that have come out. Some of them are, if you like, shiny and clean, completely unpolluted with dust that will settle on anything down here that's lying around for any length of time.
Oh, so it's quite recent.
Yes, and so this is obviously an area that the miners are currently working on. And looking at the rocks in the corner, once again, Sammy trots ahead to see if she can spot anything interesting, and Zoe obviously goes with her. Let's have each of you please roll a survival check, please.
Oh no.
With intellect.
Okay.
It's not the favourite thing I have to roll, it must be said.
Let's So start out. All four of us. All four
Yes,
characters.
please. All four
Wonderful.
characters.
Let's start with Stefan then. Who does not do very well and gets a 3.
Okay.
Sarai hits a 5. Not good.
Okay.
Did you say with intellect?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
thank
Agnar
goodness.
gets an 8.
And
An
and,
8?
and Kara hits a 6 + 2, 8.
Okay, so
Same.
all right. Zoe? Oh, pretty good. And Sammy, okay. I'm going to need to know your order, please.
Oh. Now, can we do this without gaming it?
I assumed that Stefan would be at the backish and Agnar would be more at the front, as that seemed the way we were discussing which directions to take.
Yes.
Yep.
I would, as always, my 2 would be in the middle. Are we talking about the NPCs as well, Ben?
I'll worry about the NPCs.
Okay.
Sammy sets off ahead, and
Yeah.
Zoe is right with her. So none of you will be as far forward. So essentially, it depends, I suppose, on where danger might lurk. But
I'm trying to think that Kara would have gone to a side to start seeing it's a dead end. She'd have gone to spray an X, which probably pushes her slightly out of the group, if that makes sense. Not beyond Stefan, but no, sorry, not beyond Agnar, but ahead of Stefan. So it'd probably go Agnar, Kara, Sarai, Stefan then.
okay, yep, that makes sense to me.
Cool.
Try not to game and trying to think what would be it.
Right. Let me just work on how this makes sense. Okay. I think I've got something that sort of makes sense to me. So hopefully you'll sort of let me know if something doesn't seem to make any sense at all, because everything one second. And okay, I think when you see this, it will hopefully make sense. We'll see. Right. As Sammy moves forward, Zoe, who rolled extremely well, suddenly yells out to her, "Sammy, stop!" And the rest of you who were a bit further back and hadn't really noticed exactly what was going on, suddenly realize that Zoe has spotted sand crates lying essentially camouflaged within the rocks that Sammy is walking towards. And they are really quite hard to spot. And she wouldn't have seen them that soon had she not rolled a 14.
Oh, that's lucky then.
Yeah, she did well. So I need initiative, please.
Okay. Oh, a bit of initiative. So those that are watching for the first time, initiative rolls pretty much similar, but you get to add your best out of Dex or Int. Is it, Ben?
Yes, Dex or Intellect.
So
It's 2d6 like all this is, so it's at 5, 7. Oh.
Agnar gets a 10.
Agnar gets a 10. Well done, Agnar.
Soraya hits a 6.
And Stefan gets an 8.
An 8 for Stefan. Excellent.
And Kara hits a 10 plus 2, 12.
Wow.
Who's not normally, that's not necessarily the person I want to be first, to be honest, Kara, but you know. I don't know what she'll do. She'll crouch down probably. No.
Nonetheless, it's what you get.
What you see is what you get.
Absolutely. And I've got one more to do.
Oh, Kara, what are we going to do? With ya. Kara, with your eyes so blue.
Okay. So, can I have Agnar's dex, please?
It is 12.
Oh.
12. Okay.
I feel sorry for Rack not getting his own picture. Poor boy.
Yes, I'm afraid we don't have one for Rack. Sorry about that. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the crates are purple rather than red, because red didn't stand out very well against the gloomy, browny, yellowy.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Especially for those
so
watching
anyway.
on their phones. Already squinting.
Well, they are well camouflaged.
Yeah, that's true.
They are indeed well camouflaged. Yes, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the first to go is the sand crates.
Oh, wow. Oh. Hope they're feeling chill. Hope they're not like hyping each other up. Come on, you could have her. Come on, you're sitting there. Come on. I've got your back. Come on. We've had a few. Have them.
So, let's see.
Oh, that makes sense, Kelly. Yes,
That does make sense.
that is the colour. That colour was pretty much what I was picturing. She tends to have that sort of purpley pink with her most of the time. It's one of her standard go-tos. I don't think I want to use my whole turn doing it though. I can punch one with my stun fist. Push! Knock it flying. Haven RPG. We're playing a. Thank you for joining us, by the way, and thank you for chatting. I really appreciate it. We all do. We're playing a game called Traveller. I don't know if you've heard of it. The original Traveller. When's the original Traveller from, Ben? Sorry, while you're doing your.
77 or 8, I think.
It's one of the original Big Four or something, like in Metal when you had Metallica and all that, whatever it was. I don't know enough, but it was an early game, the original Traveller, and then Mongoose, released then, which is the one we play. Mongoose Second came out more recently, and we started together actually by playing the original Traveller for a little while. We played through for about a year probably, when we were meeting together less often but for longer.
Yeah.
We played that, and then we decided to move on to Traveller Second, which we started during lockdown, which I love it. Big fan of it. So no one died. You can't. It's very hard now, I think, Ben, isn't it, to die?
Yeah, I think it's impossible now to die in character creation. In the classic Traveller, it was entirely possible, and in fact, not that uncommon.
I don't think you can still, because I know that when you roll up, you can still have things happen to your character. You can literally lose limbs before you even get to play as them. Or I think Ewan's character was getting older, so he literally could have. I think you got worse in a couple of physical attributes, I think.
Yeah.
Before he'd even started playing as him, so it still happens. So but less death now.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Fewer actual fatalities.
Yes.
Right. So, the first of the sand crates is going to go for Sammy.
Oh no, poor Sammy. Look at her.
Oh, she's surrounded.
Mm.
It's a solid hit, but as far as you can tell, there doesn't appear to be any damage. It looks as if it's been absorbed by the toughness of her vac suit. The second one is going after Sammy. And also lands a hit. And Sammy is yelling out as each one, bites into her leg and knee with, considerable alarm.
This is terrible.
The third one, the same again, manages to land a hit, and it's, she's squirming. These three crates are literally now clamped onto her, and as they hold on, you can begin to see that they hold on and then throw and thrash the length of their body around, trying to tear wounds and holes into whatever they're gripping onto. And the fourth one is going for Agnar.
Cool.
Here's the floofiest.
That's again a hit. So Agnar's right knee suddenly has this sand crate leap up, spring at him, and it sinks its teeth in, holding on and biting into Agnar's suit. Its penetration score for its excess over and above a standard hit for this is 4. So I'm guessing Agnar's suit isn't going to be in any trouble.
No. Assuming it comes off his armor.
Yes.
Which it doesn't exceed, yeah. That's
Cool.
Good.
Okay. Right. So, Kara, your turn.
How far can I move and still attack?
You can move essentially 6 meters. So the way we're working it is 3 diagonally or 4 in a straight line. Not, you know what I mean. 4 like a rook, 3 like a bishop.
I'd like to move diagonally northeast 1, north 1, northeast 1 to put myself among them.
Okay.
So that I'm diagonally southwest from the one above Sammy.
Yes.
And I would like to try and push my... I want to punch it with my stun fist, please. Basically, she's seen it. Kara's been... We know that the Kara, Zoe, Sammy, Rose quartet is quite protective of each other. And at the sight of Sammy squirming and in danger, out of nowhere, for someone that's generally quite hangs at the back, Kara just goes for it. She runs to punch out at the closest possible snake that's attached.
Okay. So you're aiming for the nearest one attached to Sammy, is that right?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay. So make an attack, please, with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
With a Bane.
Yep.
This is not only a hard to hit snake, it's also attached to a hard to hit Sammy, who's
Yeah.
writhing around like a mad thing.
It is Haven. It's got a few gaps, the crew, I guess, but we tried, like Trevor is anything, you sort of try and skill up to fill the gaps, I guess. So we sort of, where the engineer was missing, Sarai started moving towards that. We didn't have a trader, so Kara learnt trading. Agnar really pushed his first aid, which thank goodness we've needed. So, oh dear, so we've definitely, which is a strength of Trevor, I think, really. Because you don't have to stay in class, do you? You just pick what you want to get good at, really. So, right, here we go.
Yeah, because it's skill-based, like professions. You can add a skill from whatever list interests you, really.
So she's getting a melee bonus because it's a fist. So it's a +1, but she's getting a Bane. Anything else? Did you say, sorry?
No, it's just a straight melee attack. So it's it's a
My +1
strength
melee.
attack.
My +1 melee, but with a minus.
Yeah.
For bane, with a bane. So
Yeah.
Okay. I've done well, I think. It's flat. I've hit 3, 4, 5, which is a 7 + 1 is 8.
Okay. All right. The stun fist seems to hit. I suppose you'd call it a very glancing blow. Is the right way of putting it, on the very tail of the snake, of the crate attached to Sammy. It discharges. It was a flat 8, was it?
A flat 8, yeah.
Okay. There is no obvious sign of you sort of like managing to stop the animal. What's the damage on a stun fist?
It's a 1d + 2.
1d + 2. Okay. Can you roll 1d + 2 for me, please?
I can. I rolled a 5. 5 + 2 is a 7.
7. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
He says, scrolling down and completely forgetting which one you're after. Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. Next up is Zoe. With I suspect a slightly apologetic look thrown towards Agnar.
Sounds fair.
Zoe is indeed going to leap past Sammy as well. To about there and make her own melee attack on the middle one of the three, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Okay. Zoe is not actually armed with a melee weapon, so she's literally trying to grab it with her hand. And, well, she gets a piece of it, I suppose, but not a lot. She grabs onto it for a fraction of a second and then it pulls itself free. It may have suffered a bit of injury in the process, but not much, if you know what I mean. And that is Zoe's go. Next up is Agnar.
Where is the sound crate now?
The one that is on you is gripping onto your right knee.
Wonderful. Can Agnar just drop to his knees, like both knees on the floor, and attempt to squash it?
Okay.
Oh, I like it. That's good thinking.
All right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Can you make a...
Just to make decisions hard for you, Ben.
Make an attack with your athletics dexterity bonus. And your dex.
Oh, cool. Ooh.
And can we have... Oh, sorry. And with a bane, please.
Yes. I'll roll an extra. Okay. So that is an 8 rolled plus 2 from dexterity. It's a 10.
Okay. All right. Can you roll 1d6 for me?
Yes. That's a 3.
Okay. You don't exactly like nail it, but you feel your weight and the thickness of the vac suit land on it. You immediately get the impression that these things, they aren't big, but they're tough. It feels like you're landing on a piece of old rope, not a squishy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have enough to stand back up? Movement
Yes.
wise, or
If we treat that as your attack, then you can have a move as well, effectively.
okay. And if he stands up, is it still attached?
Yes.
Okay. That'll be his turn then.
Okay. There we go. So, Stefan.
I haven't even got this far. I suppose Stefan will move up northeast to the right of Soraya.
Okay,
that way. I guess realistically the only gap is where that sandquake is. Can he get through there?
You can kind of pass through another
because it's attached to Agnar. Okay.
So you could get immediately alongside Agnar to the right, if that makes sense, if that's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, he'll go that far for now.
Okay.
And he'll look up at Agnar and say over the intercom, "I'm sorry," and he'll attempt to laser pistol the one that's attached to his knee.
Okay. Yep. Good.
Flamethrower
Make
seems
attack
a bit
with your laser
excessive.
pistol. This is going to be a dex attack plus, dex roll plus your energy.
Yeah.
With a bane, please.
Cool. That's not bad. That's 7 plus 4 is an 11. Sorry.
Okay.
I was thinking about something else. I wasn't trying to do the math. It didn't take that long.
Excellent stuff. And what does so that's so that's essentially plus 3 net. Is it 4D, the laser pistol?
It's 3D plus 3.
3D plus 3. So can we make that 3D plus 6, please?
Yes. 9, 15.
15. Okay. Okay. The crate is hit pretty squarely. It's a tough shot, but you absolutely nail it. It seems, however, that it's pretty tough in terms of the structure of its skin. Like, it takes some stopping. It's clearly done. It's clearly hurt it, but not by any means catastrophically. At least not as far as you can tell.
Yeah, cool. He just sort of looks up at Caro and shrugs.
That's okay, man.
That's right.
I think Kara's almost more focused on, for once in her life, I guess she's more focused on the safety of someone else rather than her, I guess. Soraya, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get to 1 above Agnar. I take it. Unless we're saying you can't get past people.
No, you can definitely filter past people, yeah.
Okay.
So yes, you can go directly above Agnar if you want.
Yes, please. That seems 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now let's look at the weapons. The weapon. I feel I feel that the flechette pistol is not a good idea in such a crowded area, unless everyone's going to take one in the legs. So the one to the north of Stefan, what's its current state? Because that one's been messed with.
Yeah, the one that's attached to Agnar.
Yeah.
It's wounded a little bit.
And it's still attached?
Yeah.
Is it... How writhy is it? Is my question. 'Cause it depends. There's something I want to try if you let me, but I need to know the state of... I need to know if it's possible before I do it, if that makes sense.
You mean how vigorously is it moving?
Like, if she was... Because I'm assuming she's seeing it, she's going, so my decision... I don't think it's gamey to do it. My decision is based on the two things. Is it something that she could try and get with her tool laser? Which is not necessarily a weapon, but it could cut through it, or would that be ridiculous?
I would think it's not ridiculous.
Could I end up taking his leg off if I'm not careful?
Yeah, I think the handiness of it would be a problem. You need to roll quite well on your decks in order to use it.
Majestic!
I really wasn't expecting that, Sparrow. That made me jump. You've got to resplend, Ben. Sorry, while I think about what I'm doing.
That sounds about right.
So do some resplending for us.
It feels like a good moment for Ben.
Of course I must. I actually can't remember which side. Bear with me a second.
Other side.
That's right. It's what do? I do this, yes?
You do, what do you mean? Did you, as if you pretend you don't practice in the mirror every day. Like, you've definitely been practicing.
Thank you, Sparrow.
Oh, Haven. Yeah, that's you're probably really close to them. Actually, you might have passed them one day in the car or something. It's a small world, isn't it? So, did someone try and shoot it yet?
Yes.
And they didn't kill him.
Not kill it, no.
Or kill Agnar either. That's good. Okay,
No,
I will.
Didn't hit Agnar.
Then I will aim my Gauss pistol, please.
Okay. At the one attached to Agnar.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Can you roll an attack with Bane, please, with your Gauss pistol?
With Bane. Oh, that's the best Bane there's ever been. Roll really averagely all night, and I've just hit a 5, 6, 5. So that's a 10 with a Bane with slug. So it's 11, please.
You can add your dex to that, remember?
This is 0. So 11, please.
Still 11.
All my dexes are 0.
All right, that's +3. What's the damage on a Gauss pistol? Is that
It's a
4D?
It's a 3D for a Gauss pistol.
3D, okay.
Yeah.
So 3D +3, please.
Okay. 3D plus 3 is a 10 in total. That wasn't so great. A 10 in total.
10 in total, okay.
Yes, please, yeah.
The insanely fast projectiles that fly out of the Gauss weapon manage to nail the side of the snake and
pew pew.
And dig in.
Zach, I even said it before I even looked up. I was going to say pew pew, and I was beaten to it. You can come back, Haven. So yeah. Oh, it digs in. Yes.
Yes. However, the animal does seem to still hold on.
Oh, these are pretty tough. So it's the current state. 1 is holding on but injured with Agnar, and 3 are holding on, but 2 have been
3 are holding on to Sammy, yes.
And 2 have been at least combated with Sammy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Okay. It is now Sammy's turn. No, I apologise. My apologies. It is actually Rack's turn.
Oh, Rack.
Ah, of course.
So,
The resplendent Rack.
Rack. What the hell are you going to do, Rack? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, I have a plan. 1, 2, 3. He's going to move over to the one nearest him that's on Sammy. And he is going to pull out his dagger.
Oh, yes.
And try and just drive it through the snake if he can. So let's give it a shot. It's a good roll, but Bane. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, he's hit, but that was going to be a really big hit. No, it isn't.
Oh, no.
Because the Bane was a 1.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Right. Oh, it's actually not too bad. That's not too bad at all. He seems to be able to drive the blade fairly substantially into the snake, and despite it, it definitely scoring a proper hit. It doesn't seem to be enough to make the damn thing let go.
Oh, man. I guess the difficulty is we're all having to roll with relatively low damage weapons. But still, that's taken low damage from 4 people, hasn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, very low damage from some of them, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. It is time for the crates to have a go.
So Sammy not get a turn?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You're absolutely right. Sammy does get a turn.
I have to stand for Sammy.
Yeah, you do. So, Sammy.
Why not do any good?
Sammy is going to pull out her pistol and... No, she's not. She is going to literally try and grab the damn thing and twist it off. Just the nearest one to her hand. Just try and pull it off her. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. Sammy grabs hold of the one that's been the most wounded of the ones that's on her. And she tries to sort of grip it and just pull it off her leg where it's attached. And as she pulls it, it seems to sort of spasm in her hands, as if in the process of trying to pull it off, she managed to dislocate something in it or break something in it. And the sheer force of pressure that she's exerting in her panic seems to have broken something inside it. And finally, it lets go and falls to the ground, writhing and moving in coils, but in a sort of uncoordinated sense. It looks as if it may be dying or close to dying.
As a low-key callback, whenever Sam is with the crew, she has the biggest kill count. She always lands the killing blow for things.
Yeah.
I don't know, it always happens. We do all the damage and then she pews them to death. Good old Sam.
Okay, so for our purposes, we will do that. That'll clean up the map a little bit, won't it? Okay, so The first one is attached to Sammy. It's going to roll an attack. Not bad. Okay. It is writhing around attached to her. And you can see in your horror that what it seems to be able to do is the longer it's attached, as it whirls around, it's still just got the same original bite. But every time it moves, it just slightly tightens and tightens the grip, using its mass as it thrashes around to drive its jaws deeper and deeper through.
Oh.
So tough though Sammy's suit is, if this goes on long enough, it will eventually push its teeth through it. But not this time. Sammy is getting quite alarmed at this, but this time it hasn't made it. Okay, the next one is also on Sammy.
If is she in a vac suit? So if it gets through, will
Yes.
she also have decompression to worry about, or whatever it is for? Or
Yes,
is
she
the
will.
master? But we've got Stefan spare. If you
Yeah.
know, if
It will likely, depending on exactly what the damage looks like, it might be a very small puncture though.
okay.
And vac suits do to an extent self-seal.
Okay, that's good to know.
So we'll see to what extent that happens.
Yeah.
Without knowing the details of the injury
Of
yet,
course.
hard to tell. Okay. The second one clamps down and it's trying its hardest as it hurls itself through, but it seems to not be making as much progress, as if its jaws aren't quite getting there. At least this time, it's making no further progress. Not that that seems to be cheering up Sammy all that much. She's still quite alarmed. Okay, and we're back to the top of the order. It is Kara.
Okay. So the two next to Sammy, they're both attached still. Is that the one? If she goes diagonally northeast, one.
Yep.
Can she go aim for the diagonally southeast from her one? But what she wants to do is she's got her her gauntlet laser.
Yes.
Now she wants to like reach out with her fist if possible as it's writhing around, and as best as possible try and bury the barrel as best as she can, into the barrel of that gauntlet laser into the writhing snake to fire at it, if that's okay. Maybe while grabbing it or not grabbing it, but trying to do that from point blank, if possible.
Yes, I'm with you. Okay. So make a dex plus. No, this will just be straight dex with Bane, please.
Straight dex with Bane. That seems fair enough. Do I get to add my shooty skills?
Not if you're trying to grab it.
Okay. Straight dex with Bane. Okay, well, dex is 0. Okay, that's interesting. It should be okay. I think it depends. I think a 5 and a 6 would have been absolutely lovely. There's a 3 there, which makes 8, but it's a very flat 8, which has not worked out well in the past.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Let's see. I'm afraid not. This snake is agile and limber, and its gymnastic wriggling is pulling it away all the time.
It was my concern.
I mean, it's not helping particularly. Of course, Sammy's moving as well in her desperate efforts to get the damn things off her.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a tough grab.
They're awkward beggars, aren't they?
Okay. It's Zoe's turn. Zoe she's going to take a leaf out of Rack's book, I think. Draw her dagger and try and go after the upper one of the two, the same one she tried last time. That's very good, but I haven't rolled the third die yet.
I was saying
Oh, that's still good.
the
That's
boon
still
is
good.
killing us. I tell you, man. These little writhy creatures, very difficult.
Okay. She manages to drive the blade fairly deep into the snake. There's sort of gush of its blood and fluids that runs down it, making the blade slippery. And she's trying to just keep the blade in, try and use it to sort of pull the crate off the body. But in doing so, the blade comes free, and the snake is still wriggling, but it is very profoundly wriggling hurt, it seems. Okay, which means we are on to Agnar.
Roughly how big are these creatures, Ben?
They are about the thickness of your sort of index finger, I guess, and somewhere of the order of a foot or so long, about 30 centimeters long.
Oh, they're awkward.
Okay. Agnar will try and lift his knee up off the ground and hold his knee up so that he's got a shot at something and it's not going to go through his knee. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
If the thing's sticking up in the air or out flat, and he's just going to pull out his shotgun and he's going to take an armor-piercing round with his shotgun. The tried and trusted. After looking at Rack trying to stab the thing, not one to be outdone.
All right, have at it. That's an attack roll with Bane, please.
Yeah. That's not great. That's a 5 plus. Oh yeah, plus 3 is an 8.
Okay. Is that a 4D? 4D.
It's a 5D.
5D.
It's the
CAP one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm actually going to suggest that because of the nature of the target, you can have your 5D, but I think it's going to be 5D minus 6 against an animal of this size. Sorry.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, the thickness of.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be able to deliver all of its energy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right. That's 16 minus 6 is a 10.
Okay, 10. Okay. It certainly hits it and hurts it. The shot goes straight through it. No problem at all. And it is bleeding and it's slick. And as it wriggles around, still very gymnastically, it's blood and internal fluids flying in all directions. But it seems to still be able to hold on, just about.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and I have a feeling it didn't get its attack. I think I only did 2 of the crates.
Yes.
So I'm going to roll for its attack now, if that's okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. It does manage to drive its teeth a little bit further in, but only to the extent of a further 6 points. So that brings it up to 10, effectively, its armor penetration now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if that's got through Agnar's suit.
That is still below the armor rating of his combat armor.
Then in that case, though it is pushing in tighter each time, the suit is holding. Okay. Right. That moves us on to Stefan.
Stefan's going to look at Agnar like, what the hell was that? And then he'll assume that he's got that covered and move 3 spaces. Did you say 3 spaces like a bishop to the northeast?
Yep.
And go through Kara.
Yep. Okay.
And then look at that one and shoot it, or attempt to shoot it.
Okay. Yep. That's one of the 2 that is, quite badly injured. The nearest. Okay. So you want to shoot it? What are you shooting it with?
Laser pistol.
Okay.
I'll stick with the laser
your
pistol.
Standard Dex plus your energy proficiency.
Yeah.
And
with Bane.
2d6 with, I'm afraid, a Bane.
Cool. That is a 5 plus 4 is a 9.
9. Okay. That's 3d plus 3.
Yep.
3d plus 4, please.
Oh, that's good. That is a 20.
20.
6, a 6, and a 4.
Wow. Okay. This time the shot seems as though it hits a pretty average part of the animal, not even particularly centrally, like it was only the most glancing of shots, and yet somehow the sort of writhing of the snake has exposed some part of it internally, and the shot seems to rupture something, and finally it drops from Sammy's body, falling, twitching, and writhing to the floor. Okay.
Good work.
Soraya.
Oh, sorry, cats.
So we've got the 2 left. We've got the one that was attached to Agnar, and then we've got which Soraya's right next to, which makes sense. So Soraya's been watching it all happen, and the violence and the craziness. Sadly, she doesn't have very good melee skills, so she's going to have to try and point the Gauss pistol at the writhing beast again and take another fire.
Okay.
If that's okay, please.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, as you know, your 2 relevant skills, Dex and your gun combat skill, the relevant gun combat skill, and your roll with the Bane.
Roll with the Bane. Let's get a better one this time. Very boring. It's good again. It's loads. It's even better than last time for her. Kara's been rolling terribly. She's been rolling really well. 17, 18.
18.
Hang on, but I can't do that. So it's 12. Sorry, I can't get rid of 6. I can't do 18. 12. I was got too excited. Let me rub out some ammo. That'll calm me down a bit.
Okay. Okay. Is that 3D plus 3, that weapon?
It's just 3D, so it's 3D plus whatever that is.
So it's 3D plus 4, please, now.
Cool, thank you. Oh, that's good as well. 11, 14. Oh, sorry, 18.
18. Yeah, it is comfortably enough. It's a solid hit, and it drives into the crate, almost severing it in 2.
Oh,
and
lovely.
Finally, its jaws unclamp and it falls to the ground. Again, twitching and writhing, but not coordinated anymore. It is done.
Yeah.
Okay. Sammy's turn. Sammy is going to again try and just wrestle the one off her. I don't know why I bothered to roll the third die. The first two were a 1 and a 2. So with
Oh,
the
no.
bait,
What's
that
the
was
point?
never
What's the
gonna
point going to happen?
nothing was going to happen.
Oh, Sammy.
No, it's a clean miss. So Sammy is, I'm afraid, unable to functionally do anything about it. However, we do have Rack, don't we? And Rack, I don't think he can. Yeah, he can get there, can't he? Because he can get to the
You can barge
the
past.
spot, where the crate was, can't he? Yes, he can do that. So he is indeed going to try and dig his blade into this one.
Go on, Rack. Get it in there.
That, however, is not going to be enough. A swing and a miss. The animal is writhing frantically and busily, and this one is still essentially uninjured or very near. It has actually.
That's the one that's in good nick, isn't it? Yeah.
But this is the one that's almost completely unharmed. It's moving like a mad thing, and Rack, I'm afraid, is unable to land a hit.
Oh no.
Which means it gets its turn next. Okay.
Good work, by the way, Luke. I was there for it.
You're
in
there.
Headphone.
You're there for what, sorry? There. Yes. Sorry, yes. Good man. Come on.
Okay. In all of the chaos, it's hard to see exactly what's happening, but this last surviving crate cramps down and down and down, just more and more and more, and finally it manages to puncture its way through Sammy's suit. She lets out this horrible scream as she feels the fangs actually dig into her leg. The wound, such as it is probably not that severe, but it's certainly alarming for her.
I can imagine.
And it is Cara's turn.
Okay. Just work out what the best thing to do is. I'm gonna, having not been able to grab it with the gauntlet laser, she's pulled out her laser pistol with the other hand and will fire at it with her laser pistol, please.
Okay. All right. That's a dex attack, please, with your energy proficiency and your bane, please.
I'm sick and tired of this bane, mate. You can do one. I never thought I'd miss the Moamps, but but at least you never struggled with the size of them. Okay, 3, 4, 5, which is a 7 plus 1 for my energy, which is an 8, a flat 8 shot.
A flat 8. Okay. Can you roll damage, please, for it?
That's 3d
but
plus.
with no pluses.
Yeah, it's a 3d plus 3 is the weapon.
So that's standard 3d plus 3 then.
Yep. Which is a 13 in total. Sorry, 10 plus 3 is a 13.
A 13. That's actually not too bad at all. It certainly wounds it substantially, shall we say. It's wriggling, but it's bleeding as well. Okay. And that moves us on to Zoe. Zoe's not been having a lot of luck, but she's going to keep at it with her dagger to see what she can do. You never know.
Grief.
Oh, that's a bit better. 9, 11, 13. That's +5, 7, 9. Total, which will take it to not quite enough.
Oh no.
Not quite enough. I mean, it's agonizingly close. The blade digs in really, really deep, and it looks great. And then she pulls it out. There's a sort of brief moment where the snake seems to sort of slough against the leg a bit, and you think this is it. It's falling away. It's done. And then it starts to twitch and go mad again. Like, oh. Agnar.
Can Agnar get to that space that is to the right of him, or is there too much wall there?
I would suggest that in the chaos that's going on with everybody crowded around and Sammy going nuts, he probably can't get there, but he can get adjacent to Sammy. So if he wants to do a melee attack, he can probably reach round and grab onto whatever's grabbing onto her.
Yeah, I mean, he will get there, and he will attempt to grab at it, I guess.
Okay. For our purposes, he's effectively within reach of Sammy, so he can have a grab at it. That's a straight dex roll with Bane, please.
Wonderful. There goes my 12. But I did roll an 8 +2, which is a 10.
Okay. Yes. You get hold of it. Can you roll 1d6 for me, please? And add 2.
That is a 1 +2 is a 3.
Is a 3 and is enough. It was that last little bit of life that it had in it. And finally, as you grab onto it and sort of pull at it, it finally cracks and pulls away.
Oh God, dear, oh dear.
Persistent.
He's
I
horrible.
mean, it hung on till the last.
Did they say there were hundreds of these down here? Tell you what, man, Stefan, you need to get those flames out. We can't be doing that again. That's horrific.
I tell you what, the next time one's attached to you, I'll just flamethrower it. Shall I?
Thanks, man. Sammy, can you breathe?
Yeah, that was like a nightmare.
Yeah, there was a lot of them on you. How's your is it stable? How's your oxygen?
She sort of thinks about it for a minute and sort of checks her gauges. It's like, holding.
Stefan will take out one of the folded up masks and he'll pass it to her and just say, just in case.
She takes it and puts it in her sort of belt pack. Thank you.
Well, that's all right. We can't have people running out of oxygen down here.
I'm suddenly not as enthusiastic poking around in the piles of rocks.
Which is surprising because there's some good rocks down here. Stefan will hold up. He has no idea what he's talking about, but it's definitely a rock.
Well done. Good eye.
Is everyone else all right? Everyone else unharmed?
Seemingly nobody else suffered an injury at all.
No. Agnar, you're up. Your vac suit's looking a bit dented, but I don't think it's got through, has it?
No. I think I'm all right. Looks okay. Takes more than that. Not much more, but more.
Okay.
We need to be far more careful wandering around here. We can't have that happen again. And that was what, 4 of them?
Yep.
Yeah, we can't, guys. We've got to be careful. As we keep exploring this, we just need to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, that sounds a good idea. At least a little bit more alert, I suppose, to where they are.
Who's got xenology? Is it Agnar?
Yes.
Cara will pick up a crate off the floor and hand it to Agnar and say, "Can you see any weakness in this thing?"
Yeah, they don't like being shot. But realistically, can he actually determine any weakness in the structure or the?
Roll a xenology with your education bonus, please.
Wonderful. Well, potentially, I suppose the jaw. If there's any good sort of levering direction, whether that makes a difference. He rolled a 5 plus 3.
An 8. Okay. At a cursory glance, they appear to be very hardy things. They are much heavier than you'd think they would be for an animal that is, after all, very small, really. They appear to have very, very impressive fangs that are kind of the shape of almost pyramidal in shape, like a D4 basically, but and accordingly can be driven through a person's foot with extraordinary ease. And they are extremely hard, the fangs. While the animal itself, as I say, is no more than a centimeter, perhaps, typically, across its body. Around the jaw, the back of the head, it does seem to get quite a bit thicker. The head is not particularly big, it's not particularly broad, but the jaw opens very widely and there seems to be a lot of muscle. Okay. But actual useful information, not so much.
No, I mean they look pretty sturdy all over, to be fair.
Okay.
I'd suggest we try and spot them before they latch on, but that's all I've got.
Okay. It's good to know, man.
They're pretty well camouflaged, though.
They do. We didn't spot them. Lucky. It was Zoe, wasn't it? Lucky Zoe had her eyes out. Because otherwise we would not have seen them until we'd all blundered into them.
She effectively rolled a 12 plus 2.
Yeah. God, man, yeah, we've got to be careful. Okay. Wow, let's not make that mistake again. Sammy, are you okay to walk or?
Yeah.
That went for your leg, yeah.
Yeah. Let's walk towards a lift. Yeah.
You're done down here. You're not interested anymore.
No, I don't mind walking. I feel today may not be the day now for me to go grubbing around in piles of rocks, but I'll keep my eye open as we walk. Let's just walk, with purpose.
Now the question is, Ewan, I'm sure someone would go back with her if she wanted to, but do we want to stay down here for a bit, or do we just want to go back to the surface? I feel like we've not. I don't know if there's much to discover down here, but I feel like we've not discovered much.
Hmm.
Like, I'm sure Zoe would take her back if she wants. If she wants red, and I'm guessing if they go up in the lift, all they got to do is press the button, and send it back down again, or we can go to the other side.
Yeah, or presumably we can call a lift.
Yeah, you can call the lift back down if they go.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if depending on what you need to investigate, you could always walk together to the other lift if that makes sense.
That is true. It'd just be nice to get a bigger idea of what's going on, because there might be, don't want to miss something. Might be a box full of gold for all we know. That'd be a silly thing to leave behind.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy's not bleeding to death or anything.
Yeah.
She's freaked out more than actually wounded.
Okay, here's the deal, Sammy. We're going to walk to the other lift, but how about you stay on this central path, Zoe stays with you, and you don't go spying around in random piles of rocks down dead ends and things like that. And we'll get to that lift. Yeah.
She pulls out her camera so that she can photograph the rocks as you pass for later looking at home.
That's cool.
Okay, so you're heading now to the west, effectively.
West.
Yeah. Please just carry on round, I guess. Peek up each thing as we go past.
All right. Well, as you make your way around the next bend, the next one looks fairly similar and familiar. There's not a lot to it, except for, again, a pile of rock at the far end. And clearly this is also an area where there's been mine actual workings going on recently. And Sammy seems completely comfortable not entering that one. And as you move a little bit further along, you pass by another one which is even more extensively worked, with enormous piles of rubble and rock in there. And Sammy wants to keep a very big distance. She's almost hugging the southern wall at this point to stay away from all of those rocks. She's looking quite nervous about the nature of those crates.
As we get to that one, Ben, can Stefan just look up and see if there's anything notable on the roof of this?
Certainly can. Can you roll a survival check for me with intellect, please?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a 1. Total. It's 4 minus 3.
You are, for whatever reason, completely unable to see the outside. It's almost as if there's like rock between you and it.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Okay. You're pressing on?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's carry on to the.
Okay.
Let's.
As you move towards the next sort of the next part, you do spot something of sort of standout interest. The passageway turns to the south and seems to continue in a more or less straight line, with the light stretching off into the distance, and down a considerable way. However, immediately to your north there is what appears to be a very smooth manufactured wall with a door in it, and the door is has a keypad lock.
I'm sorry if you had a better ending, but can we call it? Because I'm falling asleep.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, man. I'm really fascinated, but I've also got to get up tomorrow morning. I've just realised what the time is. I'm sorry.
Yes, of course we can.
Sorry. I'm so sorry because I know you come up with really good endings for sessions, but I wouldn't have been able to give anything. And this feels technology suddenly. Look, we got
This
decisions
feels like
to make
something
now.
that Cara would want to
Focus
have
on
a look at. For sure.
Yeah, I feel like a door. Oh look, and he's flicking to the south as well. We've got to the south.
Just to show you where you are relative to that.
Yeah, it feels like I don't want to do it dirty, if that makes sense. I'd just be like, get to the lift, and that's no fun to anyone, is it? No,
Yep,
door.
I completely agree.
Cool.
Now I'm fascinated now. Ooh. So it's a man-made wall with a keypad door. Cool. Haven, I suppose you will. It's now your curse is that you have to pop in to find out what's going on. It's the way it works. We drag people in like a spider and their web.
That's why Luke did it. He's really going to stay up till at least 4.
Oh yeah, I'm having about 4 cups of tea for bed now.
He likes to call it early
Early?
to entice people in.
Hey, sneaky stuff. And I also know that I've got finished there because we've got a Rose's cat, of course, a Rose's cat in the bank for spares.
Have we? Okay.
Yes. So Haven, one of our things that we do, one of the things that people can buy with the points is Rose's cat, which is a side story based around one of our NPCs, Rose, brought a cat aboard our ship, which is a long way away from us right now. But the cat is still on the ship, and Ben has been telling the story of the cat. And it's lovely, quite frankly. People seem to have a thing for space cats.
Okay. Suddenly I'm desperately hoping I haven't read this one before, because it does ring a bell to me. So please forgive me if you've heard this one before. Meanwhile, on the Baltic Star, Kronsorama was busily constructing something. A rectangular fabric with lines running from each corner to small magnetic clamps at the ends. Rachel Axis stopped by to peer over his shoulder as he worked. What is it? Sarama leant back in his chair. It's something for the cat. Remember you told me they like being up high? I said that, yes. So, Sarama said, I'm designing a hammock. Axis nodded slowly. That's not a hammock. Sarama frowned. Sure it is. A bit of a platform made of fabric and then 4 lines running from the corners. The magnets are so I can put it securely anywhere, just attaching it to the bulkhead or cabin wall at any height I choose. Axis was already sitting at her own station. I understand the design, she called out. It's just not a hammock. Sarama shrugged. Presumably someone with as clear an understanding of naval history believed that a hammock must be made of rope or braced by rigid rods. Sarama didn't see any reason why he couldn't maintain the shape by having 4 anchor points rather than 2. Additionally, he wanted to be able to fix the hammock in spaces of a different size, something that was easily achieved with modern technology, lines that were much more sophisticated than the simple, rigid ropes that a traditional hammock used. After all, a line with the ability to stretch would be a problem with a person's weight to bear, but a cat should be easily cradled. Minutes later, Sarama was finished and took his creation to Rose's stateroom to fit it across the room at about his chest height. It was not long before the kitten in question entered the room. It completely ignored the hammock, instead meowing for food. Sarama filled the food bowl and sat on the bed to watch the cat, and once Caboodle was finished, she jumped on the bed and gently head-butted the engineer. He carefully picked up the small kitten and placed her on the hammock. Immediately, she seemed to be very pleased with it. Sarama stayed to watch the little animal enjoy the hammock and then lightly dropped to the floor to drink some water. But even more pleasing, Caboodle then immediately hopped onto the bed and then leapt up once more to the new hammock. Sarama, a few minutes later, returned to the workshop with his creation bundled in his hand. Axis looked up. Not a hammock, right? Sarama nodded. Not a hammock. Axis had a smirk on her face. Catapult.
Oh, I miss Axis and Sarama. I'm glad we get to find out about them most weeks.
Yeah. Apologies, Ben. I completely. Well, I haven't misplaced it, but somebody has misplaced my fish hat. I'll find it for next week.
Okay. Somebody has misplaced the fish hat. Damn them.
It's grown legs and swam away. No, that's not right.
All right, Mr. Evolution. What's all that? Oh, excellent work. Oh,
But that was very good, as
was
always.
and we haven't heard that one. Obviously, you've
Okay,
just written it
that's good.
over a few times. Oh.
Yeah, I must have just reread it a couple of times. Yep. Yes, I promise you Caboodle will be uninjured.
That's good.
Don't say that. You need to give people a reason to come back. Don't give that away.
Yes, you're very welcome, Sparrow, as always. I do rather enjoy Rose's cat.
Mm.
Oh, I do love Rose's cat here. Speaking of animals, you guys are doing something tomorrow. I'm not here. You two are doing something special.
We are indeed. We're playing Overgrown, which is a community TTRPG by Ben from our Discord and from Twitter, which you can find on his itch page, which I'll try and find a link to now. That is about animals and weird evolutions of animal mixes. So we've each picked 3 animals, I think, haven't we, Ben, and
We have.
combined them together.
And we've bundled them together. So I've got a Jaguar Ravlion.
Yes, exactly. And it's as wonderful as it sounds, and it's all a little bit fun and rules light, and we're having him on to run the game for us, which is amazing.
Yeah, this is an absolute treat that we've actually got the game's designer and creator coming along to GM it for us and to take us through the game, which is going to be, well, great fun, I think.
Yeah.
But this is at an unusual time for us, isn't it?
That is true, yes. We are 8 o'clock start.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
do believe.
What is that?
it's
Sensible.
ridiculous.
That's sensible time.
It's like 3 hours before we normally start streaming.
Yeah.
We'll be finished before we normally start. Yeah,
Yeah.
8 p.m. That's
8
very
p.m. UK time.
very rare.
I mean,
for
it
us,
might
Hayden.
mean that it doesn't turn into a 2-shot, though, to be fair. You know, we've got a little bit longer to go through it all.
I mean,
Generally speaking, our 1-shots are 2 shots.
I just feel... I feel it may not go quite as swiftly as Ben thinks it will.
Yes, yeah, I mean, that is very true. That is very true. And it would be a shame to have another first on the same day. You know, we need to space our Baltic Star firsts out.
Excellent. But anyway, yes,
Exactly.
8 p.m. tomorrow. We might actually be wrapping up at about the time we usually start. Who knows? And yes, we are missing a Luke tomorrow. So you will not get to enjoy the gun show tomorrow evening.
Make the most of it next. Make the most of it next week. Oh.
So the next time you get to see Luke will be on Sunday for Spooky Sunday, assuming it doesn't slide.
It's a Spooky Monday. I quite like Spooky Monday. There's something about Spooky Monday I quite like.
Yeah.
But Spooky Sunday theoretically we'll play Hellblade. I reckon we're only a session or 2 from the end. We've got grammar. We're going to forge grammar. And we're going to run for the end. Let's head to hell.
We've seen a lot of really hellish stuff recently in Hellblade, and there's been some darkness in there. So I think there's got to be an ending coming soon.
I think so. We've taken a lot of past and failure and close to deathness on board. It's time to kill some stuff.
Yeah.
And make a charge for the end, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's time to strike out. So yes, Excellent. So that's what we're doing the rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's been lovely to have you.
Yeah, as always. As always.
Yes, Bears and Kells and Haven. Thank you. Come back again. I always we like to think we're welcoming, and we love it. You join in the chat, which makes you on the crew straight away. Quite frankly, you're always welcome back, and you always get a big welcome. And we'll try and pop over to yours when available. That Sunday time's not bad for me because that's normally when my wife's taken up my eldest, so I might be able to sneak in an hour or two watching you on Sunday. So that might work out quite nicely. And all the lurkers, of course, we love you as well. We love our lurkers.
Of course.
Of course. All right, let's go to bed or something.
Yes.
Or near opera.
That sounds like a plan.
Brilliant. Thank you,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Love. Bye.